YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. We've got something new and exciting, at least for us. Oh God, it's huge. Here it is. And we're gonna unbox this right now, and then we're gonna put it together, and it's gonna be amazing. Welcome to Brian Phillips RC. We unbox them, we build them, and then we set them up on a radio system just so you can follow along and ask a million questions that we probably answer 57 times in our videos.
Maybe.
This is all new from somebody, China Hobby Lines. Check it out. The Super Tucano, answering all the different complaints from previous administrations. This is from China Hobby Lines. Give them a close up.
It is. Right there.
Woo. So yeah, we never got one from Hobby King.
Nope.
So I guess we're not going to do one for Hobby King. But that being said, this is supposed to have resolved conflicts with landing gear mounts, nose gear in particular.
Motor mount.
Parts stock issues are they have committed to doing better than Hobby King did. We'll just let them prove themselves on that.
Yeah.
But I really don't care as long as it's awesome, because I've already flown one and it was very good, and our cat's gonna immediately try to get in this box. I already know it's gonna happen.
She is.
And okay, so is this the same Super Tucano that you've seen from the Hobby King? The answer is yes. This is the same model with certain improvements, and that is, just don't try to scan the barcode.
Oh, probably won't work very good.
So it still flies on 6S. They have a promotion right now that's going on, and so we say this loosely because you may be watching this after the promotion's over. So guys, we don't talk a lot about promotional stuff on this channel. We talk about planes, of course, and we talk about, you know, buying them and stuff like that. But we don't like doing that because our content's evergreen. And if you run a YouTube channel, you understand what that means. I'm not talking about trees. I'm talking about we don't take it down. So if you see this video in 2029 and you're like, wow, that is amazing, it's been out for many years by now. Well, it's 2025, so when we're filming this.
Yes.
So the promotion is gonna be free battery with the purchase of the plane. So follow the links, buy it, support Brian Phillips RC. We did reach out to them, we did ask for it. They responded. We asked Hobby King probably 10 times. They did not. I don't know why. They sent us other planes.
I think it was always
we did it in
out of
person.
stock.
We did it in person.
Yeah.
I still don't understand. So yeah, I think it was stock issues. Who knows? All I know is we appreciate Hobby King, but if China Hobby Lines can get the job done, then let's do it.
Yep.
And I'm sure you're probably thinking the same thing. Now, I do think this is a strangely big box.
Yes.
But this is a huge plane. And by the way, it comes in two pieces like this. So you can see the front half there. We're gonna try to give you guys a detailed overview, just like we always do with every other plane we've ever done. We're not gonna pull any punches because we don't care what the manufacturers say. We obviously want them to succeed, whichever one it is. And we work with all of them.
Yeah.
So we don't care, except for Motion. They don't like us. So Motion RC, if you're watching this.
They're not, don't worry.
Yeah, you're not.
We'll just stick with the people that
It's okay.
like us.
Our audience doesn't ever buy any Motion products.
Right. Could probably buy more of, I mean.
They would.
Yeah.
Look at this. Amazing.
Wow.
Ha! We don't even have to install linkage.
China
oh
Hobby
man, I
Line,
automatically
I love you
like
already.
this. So the other thing about this plane I just want to say is it is big. Okay, it is long, and just because it's a 1600, it's 1600 millimeters,
It is,
right?
yes.
So they call the wingspan 63 inches or 1600 millimeters, but it's also 1617 millimeters long. Okay, most planes are not dimensionally as long as they are wide.
Right.
Many planes are wider than they are long by, 10, 15%. So this airframe is unusually long, okay? And I think that's why they decided to do the box like this.
Yeah, it is a weird
It's just
box.
a weird size box. But it is a big plane, so when you get it and you realize, holy cow, that's you know, that's huge. You'll understand why. So we are very thrilled to be doing this plane right now. We would have liked to be doing it like, say, 2.5 years ago, but we are better late than ever, right?
Isn't that what everybody always says when they're behind?
Wow, that is so gorgeous. It's a Philippines flag, okay? So Philippines, Hakbong, Himpapawid.
I don't know.
Himpapawid?
Don't
Read
pretend
that.
we can read Filipino.
So no, it's not Filipino. It's in English. It looks like. I don't know. So then we have a servo lead. Everything seems fine. It's got plenty of strength in there. Lots of reinforcement. Obviously, this is going to receive a screw. It goes in. And guys, if you didn't know this about foamies, okay? If you're thinking, you know, I'm too good for foam. I only do gold. Gold planes are heavy.
Yes.
So this plane is made of foam, but there's tons of other materials in it. So just remember that when you beat up on foamies, there's tons of amazing foamies, okay?
Right.
Foamy, 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 foamy. Balsa, awesome.
Right.
Foamy, foamy, foamy. You guys notice a trend. There's a lot of foamies. Now, that's not to say that I don't enjoy and love a beautiful balsa wood plane. In fact, we got a beautiful balsa wood plane coming in the mail right now. But, oh, look, a manual.
Okay.
It says China Hobby Lines on it too. Oh, they even have a quick start guide. Okay.
I mean, I don't think they're hiding behind the fact that it's an Avios plane. I don't think that's
all I know
a
is
secret.
it's not branded with any Avios marking.
It's not.
Which is kind of strange. Like, I don't know how these Chinese plants work, except that I know that many of them are in Shenzhen, China, okay?
Is this actually an Embraer? Like, is that the actual plane manufacturer?
Yeah, I don't know.
In real life?
I'll take your word for it.
Man,
I wish I knew.
Reading the
Here's a
Chinese
Springer,
documentation.
Okay? This is 5 blades, by the way, okay? So I know that you guys are thinking all the same things we are, okay? So we're just trying to get those cats out of the bag, because here on Brian Phillips RC, those of you that watch Unbox Build radio setups are more of our loyal, regular followers, okay?
Yeah.
Or you're just getting into the hobby and you're like, hey, can I handle this plane? But if you didn't know that, we do an Unbox Build radio setup for everything. Okay? Everything. So that means if it's terrible, you'll know, because we don't make it very good. But at the same time, you know, terrible is a point of view and not necessarily.
Sometimes it's an opinion a little bit.
Sometimes it's an opinion.
A little suggestive.
Sometimes it's point of view. Sometimes it's like, hey, we built 400 others, so we're just sick of this particular step or whatever.
Or we just don't
like for instance, we did, speaking of Hobby King, we did the Spitfire. Terrible build. Terrible build. And yet awesome plane.
Yes, very.
Totally worth it when it was done. And I think part of it is like that was just like an older design been re-released. So like some of the current stuff, like having all that crap put together. Okay.
You're gonna keep that and make me a castle?
No, I'm gonna keep it and put it back in the box. But just some of the more modern style conveniences.
Right.
And we do enjoy a lot of modern conveniences now that we didn't 10 years ago, guys. The planes have evolved.
Yes.
Tons, okay? So admittedly, you know, Hobby King's been stepping up their game.
And some manufacturers are trying to be more cost effective, which means more of the work goes on you.
Yeah.
Kind of like mitten hand.
Yeah, some planes are just trying to save a buck. And admittedly, with the tariff issues going on, things are hopefully going to get worked out. It kind of seems like maybe this week there was some positive things that happened. We never know exactly when you guys are watching these things. So again, we try not to talk super timely stuff like that. Timely to us means we did the plane for that video. But we are living in a world that has lots of things going on.
We are, yes.
Yes. So, but my point is this. Some positive things happened this week.
Yeah.
Some hands were shook. And hopefully things will continue to work in the right direction. That is beautiful. Really nice finish, actually. I don't know that anything changed finish-wise. We got a nice strobe, it looks like here. Might be just a solid light, I don't know. And then this must be where the tail wheel goes in, so I don't know exactly how that works. But there's 2 servo leads that go up there. So that'll be for the horizontal stabilizer and the rudder. Vertical stabilizer, horizontal stabilizer, both. This thing is like glued in here, I think.
Oh.
That's why I'm every time I reach down here, I'm like, I can't get that out. But I'm trying to figure out the best move if I should cut this off first. Normally taking planes out of the box is not really that difficult. It's just more a matter of, I like to repack all these blanks. And so I try to do it in a sensical path.
Right.
Doesn't always work out that way.
No.
It's like they glued these on.
Yeah, I can tell that in the corner.
Which is a little bit unusual. I'm just kind of grabbing the fuse by the bug. See, when you pull some of this stuff out, you got to be careful, because when you pull it out, sometimes you'll like catch an edge. Ooh, don't give me that look.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so actually put your hand out. I want to reposition my hands.
Goodness.
No, leave the camera where it is. You're fine. Okay. It's just heavy on the front.
I know.
Because there's a huge motor. I don't want to drop this thing because it's so gorgeous. Oh, look at that. They painted that. That's green. It's like a light housing. That's so weird. Philippines. I can hear things in there moving around. Nose gear. See? Nose gear.
Oh, wow.
And I got to say, this finish looks really nice.
Yeah, it does.
The decals look really nice, and admittedly, the pilots look a little cartoony. I'm a little disappointed by that, and so does the application of the decals. From a distance, I think they're going to be fine. Like, I don't think it's going to be a big issue. But I got to say, I saw some of these when we went to Joe Nall in 2025, and I don't remember them looking quite this refined. They looked more.
They did say they are spot checking the decals more. And they did some improvements, I think.
XT90? Okay. So I don't know what was in there before. I'm going to go with that's what it was before.
Probably that.
Because that would have been...
It's still a 6S.
Yeah, I know, but China Hobby Line sells batteries too.
Yes.
So, which, by the way, they're suggesting the lighter 4,000 to 6,700 6S pack to help with the nose gear issues. Namely, having a lighter battery, striking the balance between the longer flight times and getting the center of gravity correct. They're suggesting that you go with
They're saying like 4,000 to 5,000 was kind of like the sweet spot that they are seeing.
Yeah. So, we don't know. We'll find out. So we're just trying to regurgitate a couple of loose ends that we were reading about before we busted this out. And I gotta say, when I pull a plane out and I see squishy tires, that makes me smile. Those are squishy tires. Nice. I can tell. Yeah. And what does that say on there? Door hydraulically closes when landing gear is retracted. That's kind of interesting.
It's just a lot of it is done for us, which is
nice. Awesome. That's exactly what we want. And by the way, these are like the day bright LEDs that we like.
Looks like it.
So a little bit bigger surfaces. Everything seems hinged nicely. You've got finger hinges in here on all of them. I'm kind of surprised that doesn't have like a Fowler flap, but I don't know what the flap system is on this in real life. Okay. So in terms of stiffness, rigidity, it feels fine. They do have a quick connect, but it's a singular cable. Okay. So now I don't know if that's good or bad yet. It depends on whether or not we want to set up complex wing type. Okay, complex wing types sometimes sort of undermine those quick disconnects. By the way, just looking inside the box here still.
Okay.
These are sleeved.
Cardboard box.
What?
What's in the cardboard box?
I don't know. We'll find out. Probably the prop stuff. This one's kind of hard to get out. I'm gonna have to
break that, I think.
Or can I lift I just don't want to damage it. Guys, there are times when I pull these things out of the box and it's like, you got to break something to get it out. I don't like that. That's kind of annoying. Because if you're going to go put this back in the box, well, not anymore. I guess you could glue that.
Well, yeah. Trying to glue it back together.
Well packed.
Yeah.
Don't have any complaints there. Good jigging, clean lines. A little bit of bleed through there, the darker gray. Tight there, a little bit of bleed through here, a little bit of bleed through there. Not a big deal. Nice decal work though. They were saying that had been a complaint, so they were trying to address it. Also, I can see one other thing too on this. It's a little bit strange. You see those angular holes?
Yeah.
I wonder why they did that. It must be that you have to hit it at a certain angle when you put the plane together. And yes, these wings, okay, so just to show you this, they go together like that. They bump right up.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a little bit unusual. We haven't seen a plane like that for a long time because you see there's a void on the
Yeah,
bottom.
I know. I was kind of just looking at that.
Usually on bigger planes like this, they're sliding in from the sides.
Yep.
And the fuse is more or less solid. They've got a pocket to receive it, but that is a more or less one piece. So before I get too excited, I'm just going to give it once more look through. You guys see this?
Yeah.
Here on Brian Phillips RC, we do an exhaustive review. That means that we show all the details. And that does mean that our videos are longer. We appreciate your patience as we actually, come on.
It
Get
is
out of
glued,
there.
isn't it?
It's glued in.
Yeah, that's weird.
I don't quite understand the rationalization. Like, I don't know how to break it out of there. I mean, I'm glad it's not like flopping around breaking the plane.
Right.
But it's kind of like, I don't want to break whatever's in there because I don't know what it is. Okay, there's also this black box. Touch it. Show them.
Right here? Yeah. Yeah, that is really stuck in there.
Like, it's not like just a little bit of glue. I mean, they glued it a lot. So, I can't believe I'm doing this. No, you don't have to do this, but I'm doing this because I don't want to find out I was wrong.
Okay.
Guess we don't have to keep this one. Well, and admittedly, this plane's huge. It ain't going back in the box.
Nope.
We do keep boxes because every once in a blue moon we do sell a plane. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't do it often because I love planes. That's why we're building a gigantic building.
Yeah.
See, that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
Whatever's in there, I hope it didn't break.
Squish it.
This might be a battery.
The black box is a battery.
Okay.
But I don't know what that is. Well, I'm assuming that's what the black box is.
Okay, note to self, China Hobby Lines, don't do that. That's way too much glue.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Like, okay, look, the box is ripped.
Yeah. No, I know. I can see it.
I'm genuinely concerned I'm gonna break whatever's in there. That was, we've unboxed a lot of stuff, guys.
That was weird.
That was weird. Weird
Also
decision making.
made a giant mess.
8. Good Lord. I feel like I gotta break out of jail to open this. Okay, so we're gonna cut this open. Yeah, that's why I was nervous, because look, it's got this like super small piece that's gonna go on the bottom between the wing joiners. Yeah. Prop. And then I think this is the counterweight mechanisms. Okay. Yeah. Blades from the prop. That was ludicrous. Okay?
Yeah, that was kind of a mess.
So I'm just gonna go with, yeah, don't do that anymore. That was dumb. Oh, and it does have it is a battery box.
Okay.
It is most certainly a battery box. And yeah, I gotta do this same freaking
Well,
thing.
I mean, whatever. It's already.
I mean, you don't have to worry about it breaking free. I mean, it's, oh, okay. Well, that helps a little bit. Now that can come out. Good Lord. You would think I've never opened anything in my life.
Never seen anything glued so much.
Oh.
Goodness gracious. That is so much glue. It's like our 8-year-old glued it in. He has to use 1 stick per box.
Jeez.
That's ridiculous.
And it's taped also.
You didn't learn your lesson the first time?
This is a huge mess, but at the same time, I gotta say, I'm really happy.
Well,
that plane is gonna be easy to put together.
Yeah, it is, I think.
I mean, it ain't going back in the box now.
Nope.
Because look at the box.
Yep.
Yeah, let's hope we don't have problems with it. So give it a quick once over, make sure there's no damage.
Before you take your battery out.
I taped this, but it opens
No, on this side.
this
There.
way. What the heck? Okay, so China Hobby Lines. China Hobby Lines. And yes, guys, if you didn't already know that, we've been working with China Hobby Lines forever. AKA, they were the first ones. AS. That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so 4070C 6S. 6S 2200, so 70C, so it's got plenty of power. And obviously we're gonna use the provided battery because that's the battery that you guys will likely get if you're following along and doing this the same way. Now, keep in mind, we use smart chargers because many times we use smart Spectrum batteries. Okay, So we're gonna land the balance lead first, and then I'm gonna slide that up and go to the IC5, and I'm gonna use an EC5 adapter, which is gonna make us compatible with this charger. And then we can charge, this is 4,000 milliamp hours. So you can charge this anywhere from 4 to probably, you could probably charge this at the full 20 amps and it'd be totally fine. But I'm gonna charge it since we have time. It's obviously dark when we're doing this video. I'm just gonna charge it at 1C and I'll hit start. Okay, so we'll let that charge. Remember, battery safety update. Charge, what are you doing? Oh,
I was just showing the percentage, it just didn't focus right
away. Battery
safety.
Thank you. Can't say words today. Battery safety update. Watch your battery. Be close when you're charging. That's the #1 safety rule. If you have a battery that starts puffing like crazy, replace the thing. That will keep you more safe than most any other rule, okay? Do it while you're there. Do it while you can hear it, see it, and respond to it if there's a problem, okay? And if your battery charger starts giving you a bunch of warnings, then respond to it properly. Nanny time over. All right, so we're gonna build this thing now, but I need a minute to clean all that crap up. All right, so you have to glue this thing together. Full disclosure, I'm using China glue from FMS or foam to foam Horizon product offering. You can get this other places too.
Yeah.
But the FMS China glue is my preferred glue. Of the two, they're almost exactly the same cost. This stuff has better safety labeling, but I just think this stuff is a little bit tackier. It's not like a ton better. And then Hobby King like basically isn't selling it anymore, which took us a little doing to figure out. So if you guys are looking for foam to foam or FMS China glue, or if you're just looking for CAs of different various types, I prefer Bob Smith Industries. A lot of you guys use other CAs. That's fine. We have links to lots of different stuff in brianphillipsrc.com/supplies or bprc.me/supplies. Check it out. You can get that stuff. If you want to buy stuff like our wind socks that we use, you can get them there, which by the way, we go through those about once a year.
Yeah,
that's about how long they last us.
And they're out all the time. Summer, winter.
All the time, every big storms. We never take them down.
Nope.
Sometimes Mother Nature takes them down. And then I bought, do we have like the links for that fishing crap that we use? By the way, the front wheel sticks out the bottom, so it's kind of awkward to lay this fuse down. I just do not want to damage it right now. So if you notice that I have it set kind of funny, that's because I do have it set kind of funny, okay? So in order to build this, we know for a fact we're gonna have to have the prop done. It's easy to build a prop right now. Look at the piece count. This is all the pieces, folks. This is an incredibly low piece count for a big model, okay? Including the nut and bolt sacks. Here, touch my nut sacks.
Yeah, right here.
I got two of them. Grab that one too. See, oh, wait, there is technically a third, but including that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. That is nothing for a plane of this magnitude. And also some of these ventral fins and things like that. Is this like a wing fence or what is this thing?
I
think it's a wing fence.
There is in the manual where we're going to glue on a bunch of other stuff. Yeah.
These are ventral fins. Okay. So then the other thing too is this is going to go underneath when we put the wing together, right? So the instructions
here, glue. Well, it says glue the foam board with the rear fuselage.
This is the foam board.
Oh, that's that thing. I don't know what that other thing is then.
So again, I'm not 100% sure how this is going to go, but I just wanted to say I'm pretty surprised. This is not a wing weight, or excuse me, a tail weight. This is the wing joiner, okay? It appears to be solid aluminum. Very unusual connection point, okay? And the wings screw together into the fuse, but also just be aware. There's wires that pass through under there, and you see that Velcro that goes, and then all those wires next to it. I don't want to say that's uncommon, but I just want you guys to be aware and be careful that, oh, that's a thrust reverse line too, more than likely. So we'll have potentially thrust reverse. Awesome. This is one piece that looks like it's tightened on to a threaded rod, okay? So remember, once this is all put together with the wing, you're not gonna be able to get to this crap. So just get this situated the way you want it before you put your wing in, okay? Also, this thing is so heavy on the nose, it's crazy because that is a gigantic motor.
Yeah.
So very excited to see that. I haven't even taken the canopy off. I don't care yet. I don't even want to look in there. My goal is to get this installed before we do that. Okay.
Okay.
Because then we're going to have a fuse that I can set on there. Okay.
Okay.
For that reason, I'm going to actually start by gluing those two halves together. Then I can manage it like a more conventional build. Okay. This, I don't know if that comes out. I think it might be temporarily held in, but I'm honestly not sure because it looks like it's a separate piece, but I don't know how to take it out and I don't want to break it. Sometimes when there's magnetically attached components, they come out, but they're like sticky because the glue got stuck together.
Yeah.
Also, this vent, the cooling vent, is absolutely gorgeous and painted, okay? So, as you can see, we have wires here. I'm just wiggling, and then the wires pop out, okay? 1, 2, 3. Looks like 1, 2, 3. But there's like a tangle in mine, so I gotta untangle this. So just remember, you have to do some of these steps in the right order. We're gonna try our best to make sure that you have the best possible case scenario. Of course, now I've got a tangle in here. I don't really understand why there is a tangle. That seems like there shouldn't be a tangle.
Oh, I see, yeah.
So guys, here on Brian Phillips RC, we cut no corners. We show the entire process start to finish. And that is so that you can have the best possible experience, because here on Brian Phillips RC, we are of the mindset that many of you need help or you wouldn't be watching a how-to video, okay? It's not like you're just watching it because you're a glutton for punishment like I am. Or maybe
Right.
you are.
Maybe. We're
So,
sorry.
or you just got nothing better to do, and that's totally cool too. We'll take it either way. So I'm just gonna use some regular tape off of the regular tape dispenser. Okay, then we're gonna take this tape and I'm just gonna hold these wires right here. Not that there's anything magical about this particular spot, but I just don't want to wonder if they're going to, what the heck happened to this tape? By the way, I gotta say,
You hate that tape.
this tape is the worst tape we've ever had in our lives. And we've had a lot of tape. I thought it was the same tape that we got at our office because I liked that tape. And so we tried to order the same stuff that we get like from my work.
China lied to us.
China lied. It happens. Okay, so that's in there now. I don't have to worry about accidentally janking these out with a little bit of pressure. Just remember, use light pressure when you got this type of component, because once we now open this, because we're gonna now open this, this fin is the release. Good amount of thickness to this, by the way. The canopy is not super thin. I'm just a little nervous because that's clearly the release. See that? But it's like didn't go quite enough.
Okay.
Okay, so the first thing they were talking about was loose ESCs. Grab it and make sure it's not attached. Well, I'm pretty sure it's not attached because they didn't even like stick it down. So I don't know like what I'm supposed to make of that. It clearly has 3M double-sided like Velcro. So I don't know how that's gonna work out. We have a little mixing board back here, and then here's our thrust reverser. I'm assuming that could be a programming port. I'm not 100% sure. And then of course all this crap is going to eventually plug into a receiver, which I assume will be back here. And then these blocks, ooh, look, center of gravity is stenciled on there. Sweet.
Oh, nice.
Very cool. So that's the landing gear, rudder, and then all that stuff. It looks like LEDs here are gonna break out from that. And then the plugs for the wings. Okay, again, not sure how I feel about the breakout board. It's not really a big deal to me one way or the other, but my take on breakout boards is that they usually just overcomplicate an already complicated situation if you want to do something fancy with your wing type. That being said, there's not a ton of fanciness that I'm probably going to do on this wing type. I know some of you are like, I want full-length flaps, and I want flaperons, and I want spoilerons and all this stuff. That's fine, you can do that if you want. But you're gonna have to go through a little extra trouble to split things out, and you're probably gonna have to run extension cords, so you'll have to do that early on. And I'm telling you that right now because look, once you trap stuff in there, it's
right
in there, okay? So this is gonna be the thing that comes up to the inside. And it's got that Hextronics balance lead, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins. So it'd be like a 4S connection, okay? And then these wires are all plugged in. So, like I said, if you're trying to split things out, you may need to take off the aileron leads and, run those separate if you wanted to. It's not really that big a deal. They've made it pretty easy to modify if you want to. And yes, you can take the wing off and drop it down again. But they didn't tell us to glue the wing halves together.
Nope.
So if it seems like we're jumping around a little bit, we are, because as you learn about building airplanes, which you might be learning from watching this, sometimes it takes a minute to figure out how a particular plane is going to go together. That is a very unusual joiner.
It is.
And then there's not a joiner back here.
Nope.
That's very weird. I don't know how I feel about that yet. I guess we're going to have to find out how well this thing holds together.
And
I'm tempted to just, put it in the top hole. Top hole.
Yeah, don't put it in the wrong hole.
Yeah, you put it in the wrong hole, should be problems.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you go. So does that hold tight? Doesn't look like it holds very tight. I am like pretty tempted to just glue the dang thing together.
But you're gonna have those two big plastic connectors.
Yeah, I know.
That go through there.
And then you can't take the thing apart.
Right.
But you're not gonna be able to take the thing apart anyway.
But we gotta fish all those wires up through, or I mean the two connectors, right?
Yeah, but what does that have to do with gluing it together?
Oh, nothing, because you got the wing spar in there.
So I'm a little bit tempted to just go ahead and throw a little bit of glue.
You don't ever glue them. Even when they tell us to glue them, you don't glue them.
I know.
What's wrong with today?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm feeling confident. It's a confidence issue. Can't you
Barely.
tell? Okay, so. Yeah, there are going to be plastic things in there.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it's going to be an issue or not. Okay? So I'm just going to glue it.
Okay.
Okay? Why do I care?
I don't know. That's gonna fall.
Can you just relax there, camera crew? Jeez.
I don't want it to fall.
It's not even opened.
Wait, we just opened one.
What do you mean we just opened
Didn't
one?
we just open a FMS China glue?
No. We opened another brand. One that we had.
Oh,
from
that
some
had
other
like
place.
one little booger
Yeah.
of glue in it?
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay, that's right.
So we're gonna open the China glue right here. People love watching this part. Oh, wow. Ooh. You should take me to dinner first. Nope. What? Okay. Well, we got that out of the way. And yes, it was a victory. Here
And
it
then
is,
you're gonna
guys.
use like 12 gallons of glue.
Listen, it's a huge surface. This stuff costs like $6 or something. It's the cheapest thing ever in the hobby. It is. It is
probably
pretty
true.
cheap. Okay, so now the best way to use contact adhesive, if you didn't already know this, is to apply it to both sides, okay? And obviously, if you're a normal person, you have Q-tips in your kitchen
Right.
for all the things that you do with Q-tips in your kitchen, like building airplanes.
Yeah.
And if you don't build airplanes in your kitchen, all I gotta say is, don't slam it until you try it. It's good. There's all sorts of fun things you can do in your kitchen. Like cooking. And unloading the dishwasher. Right?
Things you know
Okay,
nothing
so
about.
as you can see, I have smeared many, many gallons of this, and you can see that I'm now transferring some of it to the points where we don't have much of it, okay? Very simple. This stuff is mostly clear. It's got a little bit of a yellowing to it, okay? It's nothing crazy, but it's just a teensy bit, as our son would say, our youngest son, okay? Teensy. He likes that word. I don't know why he likes that word. Okay, but it's cute, and soon enough he won't be cute anymore, so we have to take advantage of these things. Take off my lid, please. Oh yeah, here it is. I think I'm just gonna squirt the sticky stuff all over this.
Jeez.
Yeah, I
A
know.
tube of glue
Here,
on your
recap it. Just turn it. There you go, good job. Guys, China glue is one of my favorite types of glues. It gets tacky really quick. And to be honest with you, you're gonna get an FMS plane at some point. You might as well just go ahead and get some China glue. Even if you've already got the other stuff and you like it and you've had good luck with it, get that too. It doesn't dry out in the tube. Even if you've pierced it, we've had pretty good luck with it, holding on for a long time. Now, what am I gonna do with this, camera crew?
Let it cook off.
What does that mean?
Set and chemically react with the air that you can't smell.
Yeah,
Because it's a new tube
good job you listened.
that one time. I did.
You get an award later.
Oh.
Who's gonna help you with dinner, I guess. Never mind.
Yeah, right.
All the fun things you can do in the kitchen. Okay, so now this part, we do need glue. Now, pay attention. When I lay this down, it doesn't goop out all over.
It doesn't.
Which is kind of nice. And you'll notice this is a little bit runny. And I'm just gonna work it toward the leading edge. I'm not gonna put it on this face, except for maybe in that inside corner. Why? Because I don't want it to goop all over, okay? So now, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to now flip this. And yeah, that's quite a little bit of that stuff, okay? So I'm gonna work this just like that and spread it. Now guys, if you're here on Brian Phillips for the first time and you're just saying, wow, this guy really knows how to spread glue, and you want to see me spread glue in other environments, then all you have to do is look no further than the subscribe. Click the bell for notifications. Okay, all right, there it is. Now that we got that out of the way. Guys, we're here. We've been doing this for 10 years. We're not going anywhere, even though there's people that just quite literally throw things at counters and knock planes off tables. And that is how they got their fame. It makes me happy every time I see that. What? Maybe we should just start throwing our models on the ground,
yeah,
disrespectfully. That would definitely earn us a living. So guys, at the end of the day, we love this hobby. We love having an audience of people that are enthusiasts, and we want you to have the best possible experience. The way we do that is by teaching people that are just coming back to the hobby the tips and tricks that we've learned over the years of doing this, which have been actually quite a few now. That being said, there's many of you that have much more experience, and so we're always learning. Leave it in the comments if we did it wrong. We only send the invitation because we know you're going to do it anyway.
Right.
If you have questions or comments about the way we do things, particularly safety related, that's usually my favorite, make sure you leave those because we'll definitely look at them. Right?
And if we're not following the order in the manual, Brian doesn't care.
I don't care.
He's specifically not
I
gonna
rarely
follow
read
it.
manuals because the manuals are usually pretty crappy. Now, that being said, China Hobby Lines, they fixed the manual, supposedly.
Well, I don't think they fixed it, but like we got one.
Oh, that is true. That
And it's-
actually, but that's because this is an early release. Okay.
Right.
And a lot of times, guys, when we do early releases, it's kind of like the nature of the beast. We're used to that crap.
Right.
Okay. That is an
It's-
unusuality of our circumstance that probably will not befall you. Yes, I see that lead flopping around. I'm going to be cognizant
I'm
of
just
it.
watching it.
But just remember, do not put a ton on this face here. You can put a little bit on there, but I wouldn't go too crazy. And yes, there is paint on there. So if you're concerned about the paint coming off, go ahead and take that off. Now watch this. Right there on there.
You got to get your wires through too, and not
understand.
get them all sticky.
Listen, when I stick it in there, when I cram it right through, it's gonna get sticky.
I was gonna say, I know that's my
There's no
concern.
avoiding it.
I know.
At this point,
Okay.
it's just it's got to happen. Okay. Oh, for God's sake, the ESC is driving me nuts. I just don't want it to yank off. I don't want it to get yanked off. That would be terrible.
It would be terrible.
Like, I don't want it to fall and like damage something.
I don't think it's going to. It just keeps pulling on the
So listen,
servo
I gotta
cable.
do this kind of quick.
I know.
Like, can you help me guide this through the sticky hole? Like, seriously.
No, I
Stick
know.
it in there. Don't screw around. Stick it right in. Yeah.
Go.
Right there.
Go.
Okay.
Go.
I got it. Oh, jeez, you missed one. It's all right. It's all right. Is it in there?
No, they're all in here.
Hey, show the people.
I'm
Go
trying.
back a little bit. I want to get
trying to help.
good experience here. Oh, boy, it's getting really sticky. Oh, boy. We let it cook off too much. This doesn't happen very often.
It's just a tight fit.
So if this happens to you guys, there is a way to fix the problem, and it is to apply more glue. Oh, good Lord.
We should dry fit that first because it's really tight.
It is incredibly sticky. Sticky, sticky, sticky. Sticky. And tight. There it goes. It's in the hole.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. I got to just kind of cram it.
No, I know.
I got to cram it, folks. There's no messing around now. This is for real. Serious time. Oh, wow.
Oof.
That it's scary. I almost didn't get it in there.
I know.
Guys, when you have two surfaces glued like that, it is, well, okay, so let's juxtapose that to the Catalina, the tail that's also taped on, okay? That thing is not held on good enough because it goes together in a hole like, it's got an angle like that.
Yeah.
So when you stick it in, it's like it wants to poop back out. This thing is made the right way, okay? Now, that's not to say that, you know, who makes that? H-King? So,
No, that's an Avios too, isn't it?
is it Avios? I don't remember. I thought it was H-King, but it doesn't really matter. The point is this. I did not like that particular component. That plane is an awesome plane, by the way, but it is wiggly. Okay, look, 2 halves, tacky. Touch one, pull your finger away. See?
Yep.
This thing is gonna stick like a letter to Santa Claus.
What?
Like the envelope. Okay? That's the way this contact adhesive crap works. If you do it right, now this is gonna not come apart. Like seriously, I gotta get it right I got one shot at this. Try to think of how I can hold it.
Okay.
Because the control surfaces are mounted, but like I don't want to really pull super hard on them. Yeah, pretty much. It's there.
Okay.
So, don't believe me?
I believe you.
I'm doing that hard, guys. Hard. Okay? It ain't coming apart. I had somebody telling me in the comments the other day, they were new to the hobby, about how that glue is supposed to set up in 24 hours. Yeah, right. Like maybe 24 minutes. If you think it's gonna take 24 hours for that bond, you haven't used a lot of China glue. China glue is very fast. Or using incredibly old China glue. Like seriously, if it's old, if it cures. But my experience with China glue is it is very quick.
Yeah.
I mean, I would go fly this in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And like, I'd fly it right now if it was built.
And
But obviously it's never gonna
dark.
be built to that point, okay? So we'll just unfold these now. It's been a really easy build. The hardest thing is sticking in the hole, the sticky hole.
Hardest thing was getting the stupid glued boxes out of the box.
Yeah. All right, so now that we've got the parts glued together, I'm kind of tempted to go ahead and spend some time talking about the tail, but we could actually land these cables now. So why don't we land these cables quick?
Okay.
Okay, so we have an elevator, a rudder, and then a light. So this is labeled as, okay, so there's an ESC lead. The heck? Why the heck is there an ESC lead? Oh, because it comes to this. So it says rudder, flap, gear. So where does the LED go? Rudder, elevator. Oh, there's an ESC lead. So I'm very
Wait,
confused.
that's also LED. Is there a Y cable on that?
What?
This says LED.
No, I know it says LED. I already know that. That was super obvious by the 2 wires. But what I'm saying is, there's ESC. So like that's what you're supposed to plug into the ESC? Oh, because you have to power that board.
Oh.
But you'd power the board by any other connection. You know, I don't know if I trust that thing enough to have the ESC go through it. Yeah, I don't know if I'm into that. Well, whatever, I'm plugging it in here. Okay, so minus is toward the tail of the plane. So I'm just gonna put this in like that. Doop, just like that. Rudder is supposed to be over here. Oh, there's 2 elevators. Is that what you were talking about?
No, I wasn't.
There's 2 elevators. Oh, crap. What happened? It just slipped through the tape a little bit. I felt a little back pressure. Okay, so there's 2 elevator plugs. I don't know why. I'm just gonna plug into one of the elevators.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. It's all the same, guys. It's a parallel power connection. So elevator here with the black going back. Why do we want the black going back? Because it's silk screened onto these parts. You'll notice my hand is a little bit wider than the hole. So when I try to go in here and reach, it's a little bit challenging to do that with my hand broadside like this, okay? See, by the time you get you see what I'm saying? Like it's hard to get in there.
Right.
Even though it's big, it's still kind of hard to reach in there. So one of the really common tools that we use almost all the time when we build these planes, it's called forceps or hemostats, depending on what you're doing. Where's the other forceps, hon?
I don't know.
I've got 2 pairs. Pause it. Okay, so evidently in one of my many plane surgeries, I put the hemostats at the bottom of the stack. So the bent tips, they're the ones you're going to use, okay? These things are awesome because they clamp down, but just don't clamp down on cables. You'll cut the cables, okay? So if you need to hold on to something like this, let's say, why is it tipping? It's hitting that wheel, I think. What you would do is you would take this and clamp it in the particular orientation you want, and then you can easily do this, okay? You're gonna show them in here. The negative goes back toward the tail, so slip it down, let go. Okay, very good, guys. All right, so there's that. Beautiful. Pretty simple, basic installation stuff. And there's gonna be a receiver at some point going somewhere, so I have no clue exactly where that's gonna end up, but I think probably what's gonna happen is eventually I'm gonna take these forceps and I'm gonna pull the slack back into the fuse, okay? Just like this, just like this, just like this. Now look back here, guys, look. See these 2 things? I'm gonna very carefully pull these up and take back some of the slack to this spot as soon as I relieve some of the pressure here, okay? So this one is the other link back to the rudder, okay? So I'm just going back behind that tape and just pulling it back. I don't know if you can see anything that's going on. I have no clue what the camera crew is doing most of the time. Okay, and then right here. Oh yeah, very nice. So now we got lots of room to work with. And then there's a big pocket in here. So when we're done landing these cables, which are labeled elevator and rudder, we can just slide them back in there. Okay, beautiful, very easy to work with. All right, so now one other thing too. At some point we got to figure out where this ESC is going to go, but I can tell you where it's not going to go is right where the battery is.
Right.
So I do not know what the heck is going on with that.
I'm assuming it's supposed to go way up at the front, right?
You got to not
You mean to
bump
hold
that,
it?
please.
I'm not.
Okay. I don't know, hon. I really just don't know. But what I do know is that the chances of that being where I want it to be are very slim to none. And the reason I care now is because once this wing is on, it's going to trap those wires.
Right.
And that's what we talked about earlier, folks. You remember that? Okay. And I don't want those wires to get up to a spot where they can touch the actual output shaft of the motor and then catch on fire. There's also a vent hole up here, which looks pretty sweet, and here, which is really nice. And on the sides, real vent holes and real vent holes. So very nicely done, okay? All right, so a couple things we can do now that this is glued together. I'm getting so sick and tired of that thing flipping over on me. So I'm gonna put a robot plane stand out. Now, if you guys don't have a plane stand, we have links to this or something similar. I don't even know if they sell this exact one. But,
I think they do still.
okay, good. But it's like a super easy investment. It took us a few years to end up with one. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
We should have had one from the beginning. It's so easy, it's so simple. And it works really easy, okay? It's a super low cost.
Yeah, they're
compared to what you're gonna do with it. Okay, so now the tail needs to be assembled before we get this wing installed, okay? Because obviously this thing is gonna be like really hard to work with once the wing goes on. So our next move is going to be putting the tail together, okay? This tail does not go on right away. There's another thing that goes on here, right? Because you remember that thing they were talking about?
Yeah.
The thing I don't quite understand is this. We have the rudder cable is here, okay? And the rudder goes here, okay? Oh, that's where the box goes. Okay, so this is gonna have screws pass through from the top in, which is kind of nice. So I'm just gonna let that fall on there. And this is just a screw together.
Yes.
Okay, so this goes to the elevator. So this is Hextronics JR. This is Futaba color code. So brown is equivalent to black. So we're gonna put the black toward camera crew, brown toward the camera crew, and then slide these together. Okay, so you can see black and black. Now the thing that's nice about this is I don't have to glue this on. I could if I wanted to, but then I'll be able to get at it and fix things if there's a problem, okay? So there is a singular bag of screws here, then there's a bunch of screws here, and bolts and washers. What does it say to use?
18 millimeter screws. One bag came with the props.
No.
They're all 18 millimeters for all of the glue or all of the screwing.
Okay, so this is
two.
So this is for the props, right? Or is it? No, that's way longer. So 18 millimeters.
The props are the longer ones, 22 millimeters.
Okay, thank you for answering that. So 22 millimeters are gonna pass through this assembly here, okay? So when we get ready to put this together, they're gonna slide through like that. You're gonna pass through from the top, and then there's gonna be some sort of a retention on the bottom, I have to assume. Yeah, because that goes into a void here. So there's nothing in that spot.
Okay.
So it's gonna be a pretty easy assembly. A lot easier than what I expected because we don't have to disassemble this. A lot of times you have to disassemble that to put a prop like this together, okay? So that's good. Now, keep in mind, just because you have individual fans or fins, does not mean you can fix one at a time, okay? When you get these, my experience has been when you damage one, you damage all of them to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are the bolts that we're gonna put the tail feathers on with. They're the shorter ones, okay? So I know we need two. Oh, by the way, we'll get, I think this is probably a 2 millimeter. No, 2.5. Wow, it's big. So a 2.5 millimeter drive. Okay.
Okay.
And we've got two. They're gonna drop in there and secure this tail feather on the horizontal stabilizer and elevator. Okay. Really easy build so far. Nothing too obnoxious. I got purchased immediately. Just
Good.
a lot of
Yeah,
threads.
seemed like it.
Black anodized. You see that mark on my finger, forefinger and thumb? That is from the oil that they're using to keep the black anodized screws from getting rusty, which is fine. I just prefer them not be rusty, but that's pretty common. Let's see how this tightens up. Okay, very good torquing. Ooh, that felt like it loosened, like it pulled the mount in. Feels like it's not impossible that that would be spinning.
That doesn't look.
No, it's loosening. Is it just like really, really, really pulling that inside? I don't want that connection to fail. It's kind of important.
Right.
Okay. So let's flip this plane upside
It
down.
is going to be held in also by the rudder assembly, right?
Yeah, it will. You're right. Good point. I'm not going to freak out about it.
Okay.
But I tend to think that that thing probably spun.
It did seem a
which
little.
is not good. It felt like it loosened all at once. This one went real tight and it was fine. Okay, hand me that one, please. Okay, so this one's gonna get screws from the bottom, okay, through to these, okay, and then that's gonna pull in. So like if this was a dynam, that would be like slopped twice as big as it should be.
Right.
So you could like never possibly line up the holes.
And then it'd be out of sync with the
Actually,
holes.
dynam has a new plane I want.
I saw it.
Got the radar boom on the top. The only reason I want it is because it's a cool plane.
Because of that.
I'm like, it's gonna suck because it's a dynam.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so frustrating.
And that
Get your act
only.
together, dynam.
I know. That only LED is this one up here. So like we aren't
So look,
plugging.
this is gonna slide in here, okay? Then this wire needs to be pushed in here. Now we have admittedly a little bit extra slack because of the way we did things. We did that on purpose. That was all intentional. Okay, but that means we have to deal with that little excess. Okay. What are you shaking your head for?
There was a gnat.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh. Okay. So this is going to drop down, and then you see this? That's going to push in, pin into that. Yep.
Oh, okay.
That was fighting me. Now it's in. This we forgot. That's this thing, guys. We're supposed to glue this in? This filler? The answer is yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That's.
Oh, it's like the beginning part of, it's the beginning part of this wing too. That is so weird. Yeah, goes like that. Well, what the heck?
That is weird.
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
It's kind of strange. Strangity. Why don't they just make it part of the wing?
While you have that off and you're gonna wait for your glue to cook off, we need to make sure that elevator servo is in there enough so you can get that rudder in there, because I think it was kind of fighting you.
What are you talking about?
I don't think you had the rudder seated all the way in there. The servo connection in that hole.
Okay. So remember, this is a really small part, but it's not held in by anything other than pressure from the top and bottom, okay? So as a result, I am being a little bit careful to make sure that I spread this nicely, okay? Normally it's not maybe quite as critical, just leave it. It's not gonna fall. It's connected by a wire still, okay?
It's a jank.
Okay. All right, so there's that. Now we'll let that cook off. Okay, so help me understand your concern.
When you had this rudder servo connection in there, it was sticking up and it looked like it was gonna cause you problems getting it seated all the way. So I didn't know if there was a way to move that elevator one out of the way a little bit more.
You mean the wire?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably not like super easy.
Okay.
Okay, so let's put this on now. Now this doesn't connect, does it? Does it connect? Maybe it does. Let's glue it. Let's get the China glue. It's gonna glue this face to that face, I hope, maybe. Because I don't want to move it all over.
the place.
This has got a little bit more than I wanted on there. Seriously, what? Why are you laughing? I'm suffering.
Because you always do too much.
No, I don't. Sometimes I do too little. Okay. We'll talk about this later.
While you're helping me with dinner.
Yeah, right. I mean, obviously. All right, there it is. Okay, so you'll see it's getting nice and stringy and gross, which is what you want. And if it sticks like that, that little string of it,
Yeah.
just leave it. Leave it. No, I mean, just leave it. Let it dry. You can take off little strings like that pretty easy. Or you can do this and let it smear, and then it might take your paint off. So just, you have to pick your battles on these things with the glue, okay? Yeah, it's gonna have a glue contact point there, see?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like a huge contact point, but it's a contact point. I just don't want these things wiggling around. That's the first thing you're gonna break, by the way. Right there, right there. In case you guys are wondering.
Yeah.
Absolutely the first thing that'll break. I have no doubt in my mind that'll be the first thing to break. Okay. So what are you all worried about?
I don't know. Maybe that spacer in there is going to help what I was seeing.
I don't know. It's just gonna block you from seeing it. I don't know that it's gonna fix the problem. Forceps in. Wire down, I guess. I don't know. So then this needs to line up as I get good penetration. 3 holes at once.
There you go.
Simultaneously, I might add. Okay, so we have some fins while we're still upright. Are we gonna put the fins in right now?
You have to glue them in. Are you sure you want to flip it? And
Okay, we'll come back to the fins. We'll come back to the fins.
we are going to need screws while you're down here.
Oh, really? 2 of them? Yeah.
Yeah, 2.
So these things are really oily. Look at
I'm
that.
sorry.
I'll have to wash my hands when we're done with this.
surprised
I don't want to
you're not-
accidentally get oil on something.
Surprised you aren't wearing gloves.
Are you making fun of my glove wearing?
Just a little.
Do you realize I work with hazardous materials?
I do. Just not right now.
It's pretty hazardous. You never know. You just don't know what type of oil they used.
It's true. It is
Now hold
from
on a
China.
sec. Well, I still don't know what the heck is going on here. Let's just throw caution to the wind. Just stick it right in the hole.
Good.
Oh, fell down. I can feel like, it feels like I'm getting purchase
Okay.
because you can hear a difference in tone. Oh, wow. Now I'm not gonna overdo it this time.
That definitely seems tight compared to the other one.
Well, that first one on the back was really
fine.
good. Yeah, that felt good. Okay. Now, if you're really skilled, you could do this backward.
Oh.
Like you could do it with the plane upside down. Okay. Oh, look, another antenna. goes here.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
This build is really easy, guys. I mean, I know I'm making it seem hard.
But we're good at that. We make everything hard. I mean, we make everything seem hard.
Yeah, oh, wow. No, this is actually a really easy build.
It is.
It's going super smooth.
But see, you say that.
There's a couple of weird steps, but it's actually not been near as bad. Like the last few plays we've done have been very challenging from Hobby King, right?
Yeah. And they've been obvious ones, which is why I was concerned. Sometimes we never know what we're going to get.
Ah, that was good.
Should have had your Brian
There was
Phillips
foam in
Starseed
there.
coffee mug. Foam? Oh, like little pieces of foam?
That is so gross. Why are you trying to poison me with foam? It's Chinese foam.
I know,
You
I'm
know I
sorry.
don't need American foam.
There's no foam made in America.
Oh, well, there probably is actually. All right, so softer tires. I want to see that oleo and everything. It looks really good. So at this point, the temptation is to put the wing on, but I think it would make better sense to put all the rest of the crap on first while it's upside down.
Okay. The other thing is that battery strap goes underneath. Like, is it going to get trapped by the wing and not be free?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Maybe. Probably.
I'm just concerned.
Continue to be concerned.
Okay, I will.
Which way does this go?
I don't know.
Well, when you were reading the instructions,
Yeah, right.
did they say to put the head of the screw here or here?
They're screwing from the top down.
So like from the spinner like this, is there a washer on the bottom? So like this.
Assemble the prop with M322 screws, 5 pieces. A spinner backplate already installed in factory with bolt and nylock nut.
Yeah, they're saying the spinner assembly. Okay, so listen. I'm gonna spin this in. You can press it through if you're careful, but it's just mine's wanting to bite, so I'm just spinning it in because it's easier than fighting it.
Okay.
Okay. So now this is 5 of these you're gonna have to do. And this pin bolt is just gonna hold it. See, it's going through. But don't be tempted to just leave that because there is actually a nylock and a washer that goes there. Because that ain't gonna hold it. To be honest, that would totally hold it. I don't know why we need any more than that. Are you kidding me? That would totally hold it.
It would?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
Whatever. I'm putting the washer on, and then I'm putting the nylock. So remember, the nylock has. Do not put Loctite on there. Okay, you don't need it. You shouldn't do it. Okay.
It doesn't show.
It doesn't show what.
It doesn't show the other pieces. It just shows the bolts.
Okay. Do you want to go to the second page?
Sure. That's just the spinner.
Okay, so
assembly.
guys, I'm just gonna
I
put
don't
these
know.
nuts on here because it's pretty obvious that they were supposed to go with this kit. So I don't really know that that's necessary, but then the whole idea is this gonna fit? Let's check.
Okay.
I gotta love the nuts that do that.
Wiggly nuts.
Wiggly nuts. Yeah. Okay. So then we'll take off this. I don't know if that spacer's got to be on there or not, but as you can see, that goes into the void.
Yep.
See? So, and then I'm assuming that this aluminum spacer will go here, right? Because otherwise you'd gap that out quite a little bit. But look at the perfect fitment there. Eesh. Oy, I don't know. Yeah, that looks
seems
dumb.
weird, yeah.
Okay, so it's got to go on the outside. Okay, so it goes on the outside, folks. Gotta be.
Yes, here, spacer, nut.
Okay, so it goes on the outside like every other plane. So now, the way you know what direction the prop goes is you slide it in, and if you did it wrong, then it blows instead of sucking. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right. So we're just gonna go ahead and work these in just like this. And if you kind of leave it sort of loose like that, you might be able to just sort of press it through, but it's just wanting to not. I love this painted finish. That's so cool. I love that on a lot of different planes and helicopters and stuff. It's like one of my favorite details to do. They don't add a lot of details to planes except for maybe like occasionally LEDs.
Yeah,
So
not
this thing should
anymore.
have some pretty awesome LEDs.
We used to add all sorts of stuff to planes.
Yeah, I know. That was back when I had 7 of them.
Yeah, and time.
Yeah, true. See, when I get this all the way down and it's seated, I feel like there's no way that's coming out. I don't think this other stuff is really absolutely necessary, but I'm gonna still put them on anyway. Because I just feel like it's extra weight, but I don't see those coming out myself. Okay, so we'll torque this on. By the way, 5.5 millimeter nut driver here. So we'll just turn that on most of the way until it's torqued down a little bit. Then I'll put in the opposite. It's always easy to do when you've only got like 2 of the blades on. Okay, I got to do this one a little bit more. Be a little harder with 5 blades on there. Get that torqued down nicely. And you can see that this is almost protruded and this one's flush. So I probably need to go just a little bit more with this. See how I went a little bit more with that by spinning? Now I'm going to turn the nut down. So that jam nuts it. A little bit more here. And a little bit more there. Okay. Now you got a protrusion on both. It's super minor.
Okay.
Like hardly any. Okay. And then basically we do that 3 more times. And yes, I'm getting black stuff all over my fingers. So before I continue on, because I don't want to get my plane dirty with that, I'm going to go ahead and wash my hands again. And I think for this step, should we pause?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing the same
It's the
thing.
exact same thing 3 more times and we'll come right back. Okay, so we need to put the prop on. So we've assembled the prop. I washed my hands and I stored 1 spare bolt, nut, and washer, okay? So kind of like most of the manufacturers anymore, they're giving you 1 spare. Okay, now this is not keyed, by the way. That's smooth. So it is a compression fit between that and that, okay? Then this is gonna go on, transfer the torque, squish it on, okay? Then once all this is built on there, which of course, there's gonna be a screw that's received through the spinner to hold the spinner on, okay? So it's gonna torque down. So of course at this step, you're gonna need to have some sort of a sizable wrench. I use crescent-like wrenches.
Crescent-like.
Yeah, this isn't a crescent wrench because it's made by Master Force, guaranteed for life to fail.
Yes.
Actually, no, I like Master Force.
Yeah,
it's
well,
not
then-
Tool Shop.
No.
Guaranteed for life to fail. Okay. So I'm just gonna hold that there and just try to spin, but then of course immediately the inside spins. Camera crew, come to this side, please. Stay there. Show them what's happening. I am going to try to spin this. See how it spins? Mm-hmm. So then I can try to hold this, but it doesn't always give you enough purchase. So there's a trick of the day today. I would use this, except I need that to put the spinner on. So since we have this spare, I'm gonna use it. I bet it's the same thread count, because it sure looks the same. Let's see if it goes in there. I just washed my hands, might as well do it again.
Right, of course.
Okay, so this is the trick of the day I'm gonna do. I'm gonna learn you guys a trick. Okay. Get that to where it's tight, okay? Now that it's tight, we can try to overwhelm the friction force. And you're like, you're gonna do that by hand? Haha, no. I'm gonna grab this tool and do it, okay? Okay, so as you can see, that's gonna be off the motor shaft. And then I'm gonna twist until it goes to the bottom and bottoms out. And at which point I should be able to try to torque. See, it just loosened. Oh, I was hoping I could hold that. But you see my problem. Mm-hmm. How the heck am I gonna? Well, I'll just hold it another way. So here's the other way. What would be nice is if there was a machined flat in there, okay?
They would hold that assembly, right?
If they had a machined flat on there, you could still hold on to it, okay? Without compromising your thread. So I'm gonna hold this, and I don't know if that's gonna be enough. See, it's still spinning the whole thing,
Yep.
and it's spinning this out, okay? So that kind of sucks. So now I gotta be creative and think about how I'm gonna do this. So I'm gonna have to go back to my original plan, which sucks also. Because I need to twist it this way, and that's just gonna loosen that. It's just gonna undo it. So a lot of times what you do is you'll reach in here. An alternative would be to do something like that. Okay, yeah, that'll work, probably. And then we'll tighten this. And then we can use those 2 nuts and a straight shaft. In this case, just happens to be the one we were using, 2.5 millimeters. Seems to fit okay. And we can get in there. And now that we're a little bit tighter, I have to reach in there and hit that spot on the motor there, okay? It's actually on the prop adapter, okay? See the prop adapter? See? And I gotta get in there in such an angle that it will brace itself. So sometimes you can just hold, nope, can't hold that, it just spins. So I'm gonna go in here like this and spin. Boy, the lighting makes it incredibly difficult. There we go, there we go. Catch, 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 ah. Okay, that didn't work, so I'm gonna go to this one. You see how I've got it in there now? Mm-hmm. Catch, 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 no. Try going at the steeper angle. Catch, get it, get it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Now, once I get that started, it's usually not a big deal. Now I got it, okay? So did you guys see what I just did there? I used the tip and the nuts. And I got the job done. I just stuck it right through that tight crack. And what? And I just held right on until the job was done. All you gotta do is basically hold that prop adapter so that when you are trying to torque this, you're not undermining your efforts, right? So now I can pull that back out. I was hoping that'd give me enough bite that I could get away with it. That's why I was trying to learn you something. It just did not work.
I think I've done that before on a smaller one. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. Well, it depends on if it's a reverse prop or not. Okay, so like on a plane with 2 engines. Oh, that's so cool. Man, that's beautiful. I gotta say, I'm like really impressed with the finish on this. I've seen them in person before. I feel like this looks better.
It's been
Is it just because it's here?
Maybe.
And like we take care of our planes a little bit better than some people. Just beat the heck out of them.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Didn't that guy have a motor come off of his that day? Because
that
was a problem.
Was brand new. That one was.
Yeah. It was featured in the video.
No, that was his friend.
Oh, it was his friend?
Yeah.
Okay, shoot. In the Joe Nall video. Mm-hmm. All right, so everybody, if you don't know what Joe Nall is an event. They missed a little bit of paint there. Joe Nall's event at Triple Tree Aerodrome in beautiful South Carolina. And we usually try to go to that event because it's awesome to see people. We actually really enjoy it. And it gives the camera crew a little bit of a break from being the normal everyday rigmarole of dealing with our children that she loves. And it gives her more time with me. So I'm just gonna torque this down now. Yeah, that went pretty good. Yeah. That's beautiful. A little bit of wobble there. Might just be physically wobbling the plane. Nope, there's just a little bit of wobble on the tip. Not the end of the world, but at the same time, when it's spinning at high RPMs, you know, a lot of times you won't notice that sort of thing. Okay.
Okay.
I'll notice it for you.
Right. Thank you for pointing it out. We can all enjoy that together.
Yeah. All right, so now the wing has to go on here at some point. I am torn on putting in antenna right now. And then those, that's what that is.
What?
That's what that is. That's what that is. I gotta wash my hands again because that black anodized steel has got black stuff coming off on my finger. Should I take another gulp of some
What? Some foam
styrofoam
water?
water?
I don't know what you're seeing. What is?
You remember that weird thing on the back? I was
Yeah.
asking like, what the heck is that?
Right.
Well, those cuts are for the ventral fins. If those are even called ventral fins,
Yeah. I don't
I'm
know.
actually not sure if they're called ventral fins.
Oh, they like slide into that gappy part.
Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
what I was gonna say is it's pretty sweet because that answers my question. Do they go this way? Oh, they stab in. Stabby style.
Oh,
Jeez. It's pretty vicious.
really?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Well, yeah, no, I know. It's just weird.
I mean, am I missing something?
No, I don't think so.
So yeah, so I think they're gonna stab in. And then we have to glue those too, right?
Yeah, it does say to glue.
Okay, so those are gonna go right there. And you know, you could wait to do that. I'm just trying to think of a condition where we would need to wait.
Everything at this point is gonna make it awkward to like pick up and move. So just do it. I would say.
I'm a little bit tempted to use CA on this.
Really?
Instead of my China glue.
CA is your favorite.
I'm just gonna stab this in right now, dry fit style. No, I use CA occasionally. I just think that most of the time the China glue is just better applicationally, but there are components like this that might actually make better sense to use CA for. Just because the way this is sticking in here. You know what I mean, Gene?
Yeah.
I'm kind of torn. Torn so much, I'm just gonna use CA.
Okay.
So guys, I'm gonna use medium, non-foam safe CA, and possibly kicker. My foam safe CA is medium, is drying. It's drying in the tube. I hate it when
Is that the brand new one that we just got?
No,
Oh.
this is the brand new one we
Oh,
just got.
okay.
If you guys wanna buy some of this, support Brian Phillips RC, bprc.me/supplies. Okay. So I'm just gonna do a little drip. Just a little line of it there as we go down. Okay. And then quick, I'm gonna follow up before it drips through. I'm just gonna go whoop, just like that. And then I'm gonna just dip it again and just like that.
Okay.
Okay, you gotta make the noise or it doesn't work.
Okay.
And you'll notice I glued the bottom, not the top. That's because this is the acute angle, not the obtuse angle, so it's easier to catch the glue. Camera crew, do you wanna help the people that don't know what acute means versus obtuse?
Acute, like you're acute, and
Oh my
acute is less than 90 degrees, and obtuse is greater than 90 degrees.
I like your other definition. No, it's just, yeah, smaller, bigger than 90, yeah.
It's because when you teach it to kids, you teach them like, oh, it's such a cute little angle.
Oh, dang it.
Oh, it tripped.
Yeah, okay, so that's good enough. That side, I got better penetration from the glue. Now,
Okay.
my only thought on this that I'm not sure about is that enough glue? I may need to glue both sides.
Really?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
And you don't see me use CA a lot, guys. You
Right.
don't, admittedly. Okay, so let's put the rest of the fins on. Looks like there's one of these on top, one of these on bottom. Ooh, there's also a ventral fin on the vertical stabilizer.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put these in from the bottom first. Okay. Now this one, yeah, we're gonna have to, I'm torn. That one probably could also be China glue. It feels like the gap is wider.
Is it weird that it's not gray?
No, it's supposed to be black, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna do CA on this. Just on the bottom half, like that. This is gap filling CA, okay? So it's gonna actually take up a little bit of room. And then as I put that in, it's gonna pull the rest of that in. But I do not trust that. That does not feel like I got enough glue in there.
Really?
I mean, it'll hold, but I'm not excited about it. So I'm gonna actually press this in just a little bit along the seam. And then just a little bit along the seam. Like I'm running a caulking gun.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It's a good thing we don't do a channel about caulking things.
Oh my goodness. It would be bad.
It would be really bad.
Yeah. All right, so now I need to flip the plane over and then we will go ahead and glue the other side of that.
Then watch the antenna when you
sweet, actually.
flip, because it's going to be right. Wait, that antenna is right in the plane stand. There you go.
Okay. Got it? So now I got to figure out if I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. Except, okay, so in order to do this, I got to flip it up like this so that it'll puddle appropriately along that seam. You're probably thinking to yourself, geez, Brian, that's a lot of glue.
Yes, I was thinking that. So were they.
Okay, now that that's done, if you're ever in doubt and you think you got too much, you can wipe your finger across it and then wipe it on your wife's shirt.
And then it'll be stuck together forever.
They made a movie about that.
They did?
Yeah. I didn't see it though. It was a horror movie. You would have loved it.
I'm sure I would have.
My wife loves scary stuff. Mm-hmm. AKA she'll never ever watch it.
Nope.
Okay, so now that's setting up. And the other trick you can do is a lot like the rest of the tricks on this channel. Go to your kitchen, grab a Q-tip, and use that to spread the glue appropriately. Okay, that's gonna be set up because we used kicker on it.
Do you want to do this while it's kind of like at an angle?
Yeah, that's fine. So that way I can try to forget the other thing. So now you'll notice this has a couple of different ways it could potentially go. I believe it's going to go like this, right? Don't you think?
I'm
Assuming that
believe
that's right.
you're right.
I honestly am not 100% sure which.
I mean, it looks right, but
It looks about right to me. I feel like that's probably right. Now, the only other way it would go would be something like that. That'd be weird.
Yeah,
I don't
it
think
seems
right. It's
weird.
got to be this.
okay.
Okay. So now this time I'm going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to put the glue into the seam first because this is a smaller component. I don't want to see the glue. I'm just working along. You see that little schmutz there I messed up on? Mm-hmm. So fear not, I'm going to wipe it with this. Just like that and just like that. Then I'm just going to stick this in the hole. Goodness gracious, it's already set up. That's crazy. There ain't no way that's set up. That really set up that quick? That's
Is it just that tight?
No, it like set up like instantly. That's like so unusual to be that fast. One drip of kicker, drag the drip. One drip, drag the drip.
Just
Okay.
for good measure.
So then I'm gonna flip this over onto its other side. Okay, just like this. Then I can actually glue this and puddle that again. Let's say, yeah, I gotta come over here, don't I? Yeah, that'll make it easier to see.
Yeah. Let's see if I can do it from this side too.
So, hon, you were thinking about doing a caulking channel, huh?
Yeah, I was.
Interesting.
You can, I mean, you can caulk all sorts of things. They have like different colors.
Okay. I'm just gonna wipe my tip here quick.
Okay.
My only concern with that joint there is I didn't get it as consistently down in the crack. And when you're caulking, you need to get it in the crack.
Well, yeah.
So watch what I'm gonna do here. Just right over the top. And I'll show you what I did there. It did not turn out quite as good as I was hoping. So yeah, so the more you try to make it look good, the worse it's gonna look. So it's just like when you do
caulking in real life.
It's just exactly the same process.
Yeah.
So now that I've screwed that up, I'm gonna just dip the tip into, nope, not enough penetration. So I'm just gonna attempt to dip the tip into this kicker. I'm just gonna paint it on there, booyah, like that. And then I know for sure it's gonna set up very solidly, quickly.
Okay.
All right, so then one more and a little bit of kicker, we should be good, except for the one on the top, which we're gonna do last. Now this does go a little bit easier with CA. You can also use a thin CA product instead of a thick or medium CA. This is medium CA. And you'll notice it's not foam safe, okay? If it was foam safe, it would have a different color cap from Bob Smith, but you can actually get a thin, which would be blue, like light blue, and you could just apply it while it's stuck in there and it will stick. I have thin foam safe CA that I can put in there, but I just feel like the gap filling is more appropriate for this type of application because they are imperfect, okay? And the imperfections call for a little gap filling, okay?
Why are you not worried about it being foam safe though?
This type of foam is gonna be fine with it.
Okay.
Because it's EPO. I think it's EPO. And it's like, got enough density. The old EPOs, maybe not so much, but EPS would melt.
Would melt.
Yeah. Okay, so then we'll take this. Now you can also apply kicker to this and just slide it in, but I want to kind of pull some of that glue in, okay? So once you get that into the hole, we'll come back at it with our already kicker soaked thingy mabobber and just touch that little area, that element.
Okay.
And then we're done on that one. This has got glue on both ends, so I'm throwing it away. So now we're gonna roll this up and put the vertical antenna on, which is gonna go here. And I gotta say, really impressed with the way this plane looks. This has gone together extremely easy build. A couple hours of effort for us, which for the average Joe would be like maybe an hour. But obviously when we film, we want to give people, you know, lots of different help and advice and different things. And you guys probably don't all need that. Just keep in mind, you were all once brand new RC pilots and you needed help, just like those people. So remember, give people a chance to get caught up. We aren't all addicts when we're born. It takes time to get there, okay? So that's in. We got a nice clean edge. So I'm gonna just go straight to it with the kicker. Let that wick in, and then let this wick in there. You guys notice that's a Pringles can lid, and I've got some needles, and those needles and pins are used to clean the tips of my glue, which you'll notice I didn't have to clean my tip once today.
I know.
Which is a miracle.
It was a miracle.
That almost never happens, folks.
Nope.
But one of the many reasons why I don't buy a ton of CA is because eventually you'll have one that does something like this, where it decides to
Oh yeah, it is
solidify, okay? Which really is a bummer because the truth is I don't use it that often and it eventually does. I do store it in sort of a dark cabinet. It's got a glass front on it. It'd be better if it was dark. It'd be better if it was cooler than the ambient temperature, but really I've tried it in the fridge. I've tried it in a million different environments. And there'll be people in the comments on this very video that will say, put it in the fridge, it'll last forever. No, not my experience. All right, so glued. Didn't need to be glued. Now we gotta put the wing on.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
Only for the simple fact, wait, where are the screws going? Screws go through the bottom of the wing.
Bottom. But we gotta pass those white wires up through somehow, right?
Yep, good point. But we don't necessarily have to catch them. Okay. So we're gonna put this like that. Where's the antenna?
You're good. You're right between the top two antenna.
All right, so now the only and next biggest concern is just that we don't trap wires that are in inappropriate positions. It would be really cool if they just had a channel through here, but I guess we'll find out if the wing actually traps it or not. Should be pretty easy assembly process. All right, so we have these two connectors. All the browns and blacks are down. Push them in, make sure everything is solid. So far, so good. They are all solid. There's a left and a right. I don't think it's gonna be that hard to figure out which one's which.
I don't think so either.
So we're not gonna really worry about it. Then we're just gonna drop this straight down. It doesn't key in funny, it just goes literally straight on there. Then we've got these two triangular brackets. There's one with double arrows, and it's got kind of a flat, so that goes here. And then there's one that's rounded on both front and back, ambidextrously. Nope. Is it? Nope. It goes this way. See? Fits down. If it doesn't fit flush, you did it wrong. Flip it around and you'll be good. Then we have this, which will eventually do something, right?
I don't know what that's for. I still can't figure it out.
You know what I think that is I think that is to seam the wing.
It looks like it has punch outs on it. Doesn't it?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that would be to seam the wing right there.
Really?
To go between the seam. Yeah. I don't know that I'm gonna do that because we glued it together.
Right.
Okay, so now 2.5 millimeter drive, got the shorties here, okay?
Yep.
And there's 5 of them, so that leaves one spare.
One spare.
So that would be consistent with what we've seen from most of the manufacturers. The only one you don't get a spare on is usually the spinner prop screw, because it's like a long screw. And sometimes we do get spares on those, but it's pretty rare. Okay, so we'll drop this in. See if we could find the hole. We did find the hole, and then we'll just turn it. Turn it, turn it, turn it. There's a pretty sizable gap, so I mean, we could cover that up with the tape. Pretty sure that's what it's for. Okay, so I'm torqued down. Feels totally solid, feels like it's all the way in. It didn't feel like there was any crushing that I felt. It just went to the bottom and then stopped. You can always tell when you hit the bottom when it's a, you know, machine bolt, because you're stretching the actual shaft out and you're elongating the connection on this, you know, on the actual screw material. And that's how you increase the friction at the end and prevent it from coming out. Did you know that, camera crew?
Not specifically, I guess.
We'll have to work on your screw technology.
Extra practice.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so 2 more to go, and this build is going to be done with the exception of course, the radio setup. And that's going to be the next big thing for the camera crew and I to work out. But I must say, this has been an incredibly well thought out, easy to build plane. Little crushing there, did you see?
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit.
That's what I usually use as my telltale sign that it's tight enough. And yes, it is putting black on my fingers. So maybe go with a stainless steel screw in the future. Folks, it did pull down here too. Watch when I tighten this, it's gonna suck this angle down. Okay. It's gonna pull this in, start puckering, and then it's gonna pull the wing down. See this? Look at this gap. Ooh, fugly. See that? Pulled it down. Pulled it down a little bit. I can tolerate that, it's not too bad. I mean, obviously I'm going to, because there's not really like somebody's pulled me and asked my opinion.
Right.
But I gotta say, that plane went together easy. There's a lot of steps. It was truly easy though. And like I said, compared to the previous Hobby King products that we've done, this one, not being Hobby King,
Right.
it actually seems to have been pretty darn good build. Now, that being said, I can't necessarily speak to Hobby King's offering, okay? We don't mean to beat anybody up. You know, at the time that they first came out with the Super Tucano, we had not kind of started working with them yet. So we worked with them years ago. Well, we never actually worked with them. We were just working with whoever we got stuff from ourselves.
We got a lot of stuff from Hobby King back in the day
Over the
when
years.
we first started.
Yeah. So this plane is, I've been wanting it since it came out. I know that a lot of you guys have been wanting it since it came out, but maybe you heard from your buddies like, hey, it kind of sucks the big one because of this product, this problem, or that problem. And that might have been true. I can't speak to what the problems were myself, but I can definitely say that they were trying to resolve them. Okay, so there looks like one thin piece, one thick piece, and one wide piece. Thin, thick. Yeah, this is gonna go in here. Look. Yep, right like this. Booyah. 100% that's what it's for. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be a beautiful fit. And this is like thick.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, feels like foam. That's really nice. Very cool. Yeah, like that's what should have been included with a Catalina.
Yeah, the Catalina.
Wow. Okay, then this little one. This little one here is the thin one that's going to go in the back here. Okay.
That's a really good match.
That is a really good match.
That's nice.
I didn't get that centered. Dang it, I'm embarrassed. I don't think I can fix it without pulling off paint. Let's see if I get lucky.
Nope.
Nope. That's what I was afraid of. As usual, I try to fix it and make it worse. Oh, you know what I could do?
What?
You know what I could do? And what
Cut.
you could do too, if you screw the pooch like I just did, there's so much more of this. I'm gonna just take a second and cut a teensy tiny little bit more. And I'm just gonna redo that myself so it looks darn near perfect. Because I can and I'm going to. Now, you obviously don't have to do that if you just get it right yourself. But as you can see, it peels that paint. Camera,
Yeah.
please. Okay, and then I'm gonna just take this, just gonna cut at a very, very shallow angle and a very shallow angle. And then that is gonna be the piece that goes right there. Gotta cut a little bit more at this angle. Now, for those of you that didn't screw up, I wanna be like you when I grow up. Okay, so that's there. Take that off of my middle finger for me. Thank you. Camera crew's always there for me. Okay, so now I'm not gonna screw this up.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, well. Oh, yeah. Wowzers. That is really good fitment. Really good. Beautiful. Beautiful. Now, I gotta say, that is awesome. I wish we got that crap with all our wings that we put together, because that went really smoothly. The other thing is, if I have like an accident or something, or I scrape a wingtip, this would be perfect for fixing it. So manufacturers, start sending this stuff. This is awesome. How have we not had this before?
I know, it's kind of crazy.
It's like thick, guys.
Yeah.
It's not like a decal. It's like foam.
It's like the vinyl. It's like a vinyl sticker.
Maybe. Okay, so the next move for us is going to be radio setup. Would be kind of nice to see that all the way down there. But I guess we'll find out if that is a problem or not, right?
Right.
They did include a wedge in there. They were talking about a wedge.
Something to help reinforce the landing gear.
Yeah, I don't know, since we have no basis for comparison.
Right.
I can't tell you if that's necessary or not.
Big stinking plane.
That is a big plane. And it's very pretty.
It is pretty.
Okay, I gotta be careful. You're gonna have to help me with the
Yes, you're good.
antennas. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this down. In here. Oh, we do have to land these two cables, so let's do that. That's technically not radio setup.
Okay.
You know, pause for just a sec. All right, so in order to get in here, I gotta tip this really steep, show the people. So I bring it right to the edge of the table, or the counter in this case, and then I can reach. Works out pretty good, especially if you guys got back problems. Make sure you're getting that close to your body. Okay, so this one obviously comes from that side, which would be our right wing. Okay. So we'll just kind of manipulate the cables, and it looks like the two keys go up toward the top of the wing. So just pressing that through, and it just snaps right in, just like a balance lead. Do not plug your balance lead from your battery in there. You'll catch it on fire. Okay, and then same thing here, except this one is keys are gonna go down. Okay, I'm just gonna pull all these cables back here. Make sure we get this in the right orientation. And there, we're gonna land this. Now, for those of you watching this video and you're thinking, hey, you know, I'm just here for the radio setup part. Wish I wouldn't have watched that first chunk because I didn't need any help with any of that. Well, we appreciate you sticking in there and staying tuned for all that stuff you didn't need. But most people that are watching Brian Phillips RC videos, from my experience, is that they're needing help on the radio setup. So that's where we really bring the value, because most of you are gonna figure this out pretty quick and easy. Now also, whatever this cable is, it's either gonna be thrust reverse or it's not. It could be a programming cable, could be thrust reverse, but we're gonna separate that out. So it's ready to rock and roll when we get ready. I'm probably gonna have the receiver back here, I'm guessing, okay? Because it's pretty obvious where it's gonna fit. Also, we'll probably have a little shelf liner action going right in this very area. But my only concern is, where the heck are we gonna mount this ESC?
Oh, yeah.
Because the ESC is technically part of the build. If you guys are using like some third-party setup for your receiver that's not what we're gonna show, then you know you're still gonna have to do this. My only fear is, like, I'm not a huge fan of mounting ESCs if they don't need to be, because sometimes it's necessary and other times it's not. Yeah, that still pulls through, look.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so that's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna pull a little bit of slack through. Now I am not clamping that, I'm just holding it, okay? Because you will go through that cable if you're not careful. And it looks like this needs to be just a little bit more of that slack taken back toward the front. Okay, so I'm gonna just guide this down there in the right angle. There it goes. Yeah, very easy to get that through. So now my only issue is, where the heck does that fit, okay? Because it's not very obvious where that would go, okay? Why is there another pocket for a servo up there? I don't understand that. Why would you need another servo? Oh, if you were gonna do a gasser, then you would need a throttle servo. That's weird. I don't think anybody's putting a gasser in this size of plane generally. It's a pretty good sized plane, but I guess you could technically do that. Those leads are so freaking long.
I know.
It's like ridiculous. So now, if I were to take this Velcro off, you know what? It's time to do it. Sometimes you just do it. Just lay that here. Right there, baby. Come on, get in there. Back a little bit. Flip the cables till you're satisfied. And then I'm pressing it right there, okay?
Okay.
Why right there? Because that's where it fit, ish. Okay, that's where it fit. There wasn't a lot of flexibility. And then this excess can just be tucked wherever the heck you want. And if people were having problems with this coming loose, it's probably because it just gets hot and then it heats up the Velcro. But
right.
Maybe if we let it sit in there and be stuck down, maybe it'll stay. I don't know. I'm not really expecting it to. It doesn't feel like it's going to.
It doesn't seem like it.
I don't really care either. Why do I care?
Right, I don't know.
We don't have a lot of problems with the SCs flopping around.
No. That's why I was a little weirded out that it was like such a big deal to check on it.
Well, I guess.
And then it wasn't attached at all.
Yeah, and it wasn't attached, but it also, like, even after we tried to attach it, it didn't attach worth a crap anyway.
Right.
So I don't really care though. Like, it doesn't matter to me.
Okay.
It's gonna be fine. Guys, if your ESC moves around a little bit, it's not gonna crash your plane.
Right.
Now, if you crash your plane, it might move a lot.
Right.
You already crashed it.
Too late.
So just remember, causal.
Right.
So now that we have the plane sort of built, except for shelf liner, we do some shelf liner. We'll get this mounted. This is going to be something that doesn't come with the plane. We do this on a routine basis. It works really, really well. to help batteries not slide. Yes, this got 2,482 milliamp hours forced into it during that charge. We're at 100% charge now. And as you can see, this is a pretty good sized battery. You can use up to like 8,000 milliamp hour batteries in this plane. But they're not recommending it because
of the weight.
The weight is hard on the nose gear. Okay, so we want this to be big enough for the battery. Now we have 4,000 and 5,000 milliamp hour batteries. In fact, we've got some China Hobby Line ones here. Okay, so we got some 5,000s, also 70C. So you can see the footprint's gonna be very similar. And we might go ahead and show both of those. We also incidentally have some 5,000 8Ss. That's not what we're gonna be using. This is not an 8S plane.
Those
not
are
that I
big
know
batteries.
of. Okay, so we'll just cut this to be a similar size. You don't usually get this much room to put shelf liner in, but then if you need to move the battery forward or back a little bit, you've got tons of flexibility. Now you don't even really have to glue this in, by the way. We just glue it in because it's easier.
Then it's not flopping around everywhere.
Yeah, you don't want it flopping around everywhere. We've had a lot of problems with flopping on this build. Or at least some people have.
Your glue usages.
Are you saying I'm being a little bit too liberal with my glue usage?
A little bit.
Okay, that's fine. I understand your concern. I've heard you, and I'm going to ignore it now.
I know you are. It's okay. I knew you were going to.
Okay, so we'll just massage the glue around through the shelf liner and just kind of get it to where we think we want to leave it. And we're not going to peel this off and let it cook off or anything. It doesn't need, it's really not that big a deal.
No.
And battery straps, maybe not the nicest battery straps we've ever seen. I prefer on a plane this size to have a little bit heavier duty strap, but this one's going to be fine for what we're doing. Yes, these ones are plenty strong in my opinion. Really, it's kind of like the causal thing. If you crash your plane, your battery strap breaks, then you'll learn not to crash your plane, or you'll get a better battery strap because you will have broken the original factory.
Right.
Okay. We've crashed many planes. We rarely break battery straps. Well, let's see how this fits quick. Okay, now remember, this is just helping us to decide on, okay, we gotta loosen this one here on where the receiver is gonna fit and all that good jazz, which I think is pretty obvious where it's gonna fit. Big plane, big opening for batteries. Now you could also do parallel configuration where you have a smaller battery, two of them, but I don't think you're gonna have problems getting the CG, which by the way, it's marked on that board for right here, which is pretty sweet. Now I don't know if that's still correct or if maybe there's been a misprint or any sort of issues. We're gonna check the manual just to verify that. Okay, you'll notice my lead is going forward. That's because I frankly don't think it would go the other way. Okay, so I'm just gonna push this kind of right in the middle. Of course, China Hobby Lines has been selling batteries for years, and that's where they specialize. Most of their business is selling batteries. We have been working with them for some time, but we predominantly use competitor brands. But you know what? I'm super excited they're getting into plane stuff.
Yeah.
Because if they can, you know, anytime there's another manufacturer that's actually got a reasonably good reputation selling planes, I have no problem with that. I just think it's kind of weird how this one went down, to be honest.
Right.
We do not know the full story. We don't really care. We're just glad we're involved. Okay. Okay. Not really a huge fan of the strap technology here because they are not sliding. You guys know what I mean when I say sliding?
That's the one that's stuck in the wing.
They're both stuck.
Are they?
And yeah, those screws are not in ideal spots. Because what's gonna happen is if you have a screw that protrudes through the bottom of a plate like that, a battery tray, then it's likely to potentially pierce the battery. And if you pierce the battery, like on a real rough landing or crash, then you might start a fire. So you wanna, I mean, like honestly, I think it's bad enough that I'm gonna put some shelf liner over it.
Really?
Just give a, yeah. We've damaged batteries before doing that. You see that little bump? Yeah, it's getting covered right now.
Okay.
So guys, if you don't, I mean, I'm not saying this is going to be a huge issue, and I'm not saying that you have to do this by any means. Of course, it's always up to you how you want to handle your safety issues. But I will suggest that for an extra 4 cents worth of shelf liner, this would definitely be wise. Because the idea is, it's not so much that, you know, I'm like super worried about that causing a massive issue. It's just, it's so easy to prevent the likelihood of an issue that I'm going to err on the safe side. It takes like 3 seconds to do this. And then if your battery kind of shoots over those washer and screws, then you can rest with ease. Now, I am not going to put as much glue as I could if I was, like, say, holding the wing on or virtually anything else that I glued on this particular project. Just because, God forbid, I have to actually undo that tray. I want to be able to do that, okay? So that's just going to give a little padding between the battery. It's not meant to be like some massive additional grip or anything. And honestly, we are kind of married to this position here because the way the lead is situated. Now you could undo the ESC and move it, but I'm not sure how you're going to fit the ESC, and you don't want to put it right next to the battery because the ESC is going to get real hot. And if you'd ever have some sort of a, you know, like a crash and it's really hot and it sits up in a tree for like an hour and it heats up your battery, next thing you know, you got a fire in the tree. Next thing you know, you got the fire marshal in your yard. That's a problem, okay? So I don't like to put ESCs like literally next to the batteries. Where possible, I avoid it. Is that not sliding? I feel like it's not.
Doesn't look like it is.
It's not. Okay, so we'll just do that. And this one, kind of, it feels like this one should, nope, it's also trapped now. But you can pull it tight still. I'm just not a real big fan of the way those work. Okay. So now that that's in, let me actually try to tuck this there. And then tuck this there. Yeah, it'll be fine. I just would like to see a little better purchase.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so this is all gonna go over to the electronics, or not the electronics, speed control is gonna go to the receiver, and then this will also go to the receiver. So all the channels, when we're ready to do the radio setup, which will be our next step in this video, because as you know, on Brian Phillips RC, we do unbox build radio setups. And that is the second portion or the third portion of our project, because we have to unbox them and then we have to build them and then we have to set them up. Now, remember how I pulled this slack out of these earlier? I'm gonna do that again. Look, see this for cable management reasons? I'm gonna pull that back for cable management reasons. I'm gonna pull this one back too. Just carefully walking it back. Just because it's gonna go back here and it's not gonna be a problem then, okay? Look how nice that looks. Then, cable management reasons, I want to see if I can get any of this crap up here. I don't think I'm going to get so lucky. I think I'm going to have to deal with it by stuffing it down here. Okay? Yeah. This one here, I'm just going to stuff it down underneath these two white cables. Okay? Or, you know what? Can I put it under the tray? Looks like I might be able to. Because there's so much extra on this lead. I want to get rid of it. So let's stuff it in here. Ooh, it's popping out on me. So folks, here on Brian Phillips RC, we leave no stone unturned because, like I've said 14 times in this very video alone, we know there's a lot of people that just need a little bit of help. Now, you don't have to be as anal retentive as I am about the way we build these planes, but I am going to tell you that the proficiencies that we enjoy, we'll try to share, and hopefully you'll be able to apply them in your experience and have a good positive outcome, okay? We're gonna try to get you set up so you can get out of the chair and into the air on Brian Phillips RC, and that's by telling the full truth, nothing but the truth. So help us God. And the way we do that is by showing everything, okay? So you don't really have to wonder if we have withheld some detail or like, oh yeah, we like this particular brand over that particular brand. We really don't care about the brands. They do, the sellers do, but we don't. We just want the best for all of us in this hobby. And that includes both us and all of you. We love this hobby. We know you guys love this hobby, or you wouldn't be watching this deep in the video. So as we get ready to do the radio setup, don't forget to smash a like button, click the bell for notifications when you do subscribe. And if you want to support us, buy the planes, buy the batteries, buy the receivers, buy the transmitters, whatever it is we happen to be reviewing, buy it from the links in the video description below. It's the easiest thing you could do to support us financially, and we win, you win. The manufacturers that we support and support us, we win all together. It's the RC solution, okay? If you want to support us, that's the best way to do it. Gotta say, before we jump into the radio setup, this thing looks fantastic. It's big, it's beautiful, it looks amazing. Now, I have very briefly, did I fly it that day? I thought I did. No, I never did. Did I fly it? I can't remember.
I don't know. You flew
Maybe
one.
I did fly one.
You flew one.
But either way, I am like super duper excited to fly my own for my own runway. Okay,
right.
It's a little different. Flying at Joe Knoll is different. By the way, that ESC's already broke free. I don't think it's gonna stay.
Sticky.
It's a stupid solution. You know,
Yeah.
having Velcro, duh. It's not gonna work.
Right.
It's like a foam pad that can get squished. But like I said, I could care less. I just wish it was zip tied in there and be done with it. Okay, so at the end of the day, we show all the details, even when they aren't good, okay? So let's see if this fits. We know where the center of gravity is supposed to be, by the way, which is right there, okay? So just in front of this.
That, yeah.
So it's basically here on this line.
On that line.
Okay. So let's put the canopy back on, see how that fits. Goes on pretty good. Now, with gear up, we're gonna check it. And we're gonna see what it feels like. This is huge. It's gonna be kind of hard to do this. Okay, can you tell me where my fingers are lined up, please?
So you're going to be right on this back line.
The back line.
Yep.
Okay.
That's right there.
So it's nose heavy right now. Okay, according to the CG marks. So when a plane is nose heavy, it's going to fly stable, but it's going to be hard to roll because your elevator will be less effective. Pulling this back, lifting this up. Okay. And that means that we want this battery moved back. Okay, so come around. Okay. Okay, so this battery can slide back, but since we put shelf liner, it's be a little bit harder to slide back. I'm glad we have to slide it back because I was hoping it would go back further. And in this case, it needed to. Okay. That might be enough, I don't know though. So we're gonna try it right now. Okay. And we're just gonna test again. This thing is huge though. It's kind of hard to manipulate, but I'm gonna put it on my thumbs this time. Still nose heavy. We're balancing, just you can tell, we're about here, okay?
Okay.
Where my thumb is there, see, watch. Woo. See?
Mm-hmm, yep.
So, we need to go back even further to get this to the correct center of gravity, okay? Or at least the manufacturer suggested center of gravity. Ooh, man. Not sure I'm a huge fan of the way that canopy comes off. Feels like this is eventually gonna break. Okay, so in order to make this move back, we can cut some of that away. And that's also gonna help to secure the battery. So we don't need to go a huge amount, but we need to go some, okay? So what I wanna do is I wanna take and mark this with the X-Acto knife. And then I wanna mark it like this. And then I wanna cut it, just like that. Okay. And then what I'm gonna use is a flat screwdriver that's long and slender, okay? You just feed this down in here and eventually just pop out the foam. Should be pretty easy. Okay. Just knock that right out, okay? Now, because it's easier to do this, if I don't have a bunch of crap flopping around in there, I'm gonna grab my straight tipped forceps and just grab these chunks right out. And we'll keep these for another build. You knew I was gonna do that. Okay, so now obviously we're gonna need to cut the other side as well. And so I'm gonna cut this a little bit tighter than it should be, and a little bit tighter than it should be. And the reason we're doing that is because when we cut it a little tighter, it'll help hug the battery pack. Okay. Now I only cut about halfway down on the inboard side because I don't want to take the battery out to cut this. I want to keep the battery in so I can slide this down and just pop it out. See, worked pretty good. All right. Have to vacuum some more, hon. Mm-hmm. I know you're excited. Okay, so now that that's out, let's go ahead and grab somewhere on the fuse, like here. We'll slip this battery back into the hole. See? Look at that, worked pretty nice, didn't it? So now let's see if that actually balances out. And you're gonna notice that the battery cable is gonna be sort of moved a little bit, but that cable being plugged in is not gonna change the center of gravity enough to matter. It will matter, the cable does matter, make no mistake, it just doesn't matter enough. Same thing, thumbs this time because I can. Feels very similar spot, needs to go back quite a bit because the ratio of weight to the movement is not big enough. Okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just keep doing that until we get in a position where the center of gravity is about right. So I'm gonna take another pretty good chunk off this time. See that? Pretty good chunk, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so like a butter knife would work great. Do you have any butter knives I could use, huh?
Mm-hmm, we do.
All right, so now because we have this thin, slender screwdriver, I can run this through in the cut and then just walk it over, pop it out. Now remember, that cut doesn't need to be perfect in order to make your battery slip back here. But just remember, cut a little bit more material than you want to make it fit perfect, and then it'll have a nice little squeeze. And that is really good for what we're trying to do here. And if in doubt, you can also get longer hobby blades, or just use a utility knife to get a little deeper penetration into your foam. Okay. So I'll show you what happens this way. See, doesn't work quite as good, does it? So we go this way, just pop it out. Okay. Pretty simple stuff, guys. I mean, it's not rocket science unless it's a rocket. And if it's a rocket ship, then I guess technically it might be on this channel someday. But we haven't done that yet, interestingly. We should do that. Okay, so now we're to the point where we're out of the first strap, which is kind of a bit of a bummer. And we're back all the way now, okay? We'll have to reload this, and this is just the name of the game, guys. Keep in mind, we're gonna have a receiver back here, which is gonna weigh all of like 15 grams. So it's not really enough to justify adding any more battery weight to do this, okay? So now I can get my fingers on here. Goodness gracious. I'm beginning to think that it's just the shape of the wing that might be screwing with me. It does have quite a steep angle on it. I wonder if that's contributing to my not balancing. They did want it tested upside down. They did mention that. And I feel like as we move the battery, so if I'd have pulled the battery forward, then I'm just for some giggles. Some giggles. We're gonna slide this all the way forward. See, caught myself there, camera crew.
You did.
Should be proud of me. I'm gonna just slide this all the way forward. I wanna see how big of a difference we get when we slide this all the way forward, which is somewhat counterintuitive. Should make it more nose heavy, which is not what we want, okay? But I just wanna see how big of an impact it has to help me understand how far back I'm gonna have to cut that to make it work. Okay. All right, so it's in like sin. Okay, camera crew, you ready? So it should be more nose heavy. Yeah. See, look where I am now. I'm further forward in that thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. So I was correct in my assessment. It's just, I'm not getting a big enough impact from the shift of that mass.
Right.
So the next alternative measure would be to add a little bit more weight in the back too. Beyond, or just cut more foam. Bigger battery in the front of the center of gravity is going to exaggerate the issue. Put the battery back here, then you could do different sizes. But I think what we want to do is we want to just go back a little bit further yet. It's nice to have that little catchment point. So I think I want to try going here and see what we can get away with. Okay.
5 minutes.
5 minutes? What happens in 5 minutes? A party?
No, I wish. No, actually, I don't wish that.
No. You don't have a party?
Nope.
Well, it's only like 1 a.m.
Oh, actually less. That just went to 5. So yeah, like maybe 2 or 3.
Okay, so we're gonna go very quickly here, folks. By the way, next up, radio setup. You guys won't even notice an interruption. We will, because we have to charge our batteries to do it. But the truth is, at the end of the day, we love doing this content for you. Even if it's sometimes a little bit frustrating. This step is a little frustrating. It's probably been the worst step of this entire build. But we don't like to end on a negative, but we are probably going to end on a negative for ourselves, and then we'll pick right back up where we left off. And if the battery dies, forgive us. We'll show you where it ends up. So as you can see, we got way back, and now I'm gonna slide this back in, see if we can get it to go. Okay, guys, thanks for watching this build portion, the unbox and build portion of the Super Tucano through China Hobby Line. Okay. You know what?
That seems better.
It's not where it is, though. It's not where it's supposed to be, though.
Yeah,
it's still forward of it. But you know, it's like, I don't know how much further forward I'm going to be able to do it by just moving the battery. I'll have to add weight to the back. I just don't add dead weight to my planes, guys.
Well, and how much does it really matter? Like how...
center of gravity is pretty important.
Usually we have a range. We're trying to hit one supposed spot.
Yeah, and if I go any further back, then I lose that bite, which I really like.
Yeah.
So if I go any further back, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with, we're going to try this first. And then if I have to, we can go further back. But then I have to all of a sudden secure all these cables and make sure we don't pinch any of them. And frankly, I'd really like to not come to this back point, but that's probably what we're going to have to do. So we're going to do that next. We're going to see if we get lucky enough to have the battery not die. By the way, even if it does die, you guys are still going to see it. Just annoying for us because we want to have a clean break so we can make dinner at 1 a.m. for our family, right?
Right.
So thanks for watching this, guys. We really appreciate you being part of our RC experience here on Brian Phillips RC. And there's always more stuff right around the corner. But let's see if this works. I hate that we're gonna have the battery right up on top.
I mean, it just seems you're gonna be out of the second strap. It seems.
No, we'll be on. All right, so we're gonna start radio setup now. And as per usual, we're gonna stick with the NX10. We keep finding older models that either we've sold or crashed or just not decided to fix. And so we found another one. This happened to be number 106. And so we cleared it. Now it's number 256, but it's not actually 256. Okay, so it's acro. And I normally would start by saying we have to make a model profile. So I would hit cancel and back, and that would take us to the model select, but I can't show you the model select screen because there's an early release in there. So we select it and it brings us back to this menu. We click, scroll down to system setup, disconnect RF, model type, select acro. That's gonna reset the data, okay? So we already did that to acro, right? Then we're gonna do the model name and so on and so forth. So we have to do that first before we can install our receiver. The problem is I don't know which receiver we want. So the AR8360T Plus or 8360T and then upgrade your firmware and you can have the S3X Plus to the 3.XXX or higher, and you'll get the AS3X Plus, okay? The only ones that won't upgrade are the very, 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 very early ones, okay? So if you have an even recent one, you should be able to upgrade. I would highly recommend it. AS3X Plus is awesome. It's subtle, but very good, okay? Or the AR 637T, okay? Now, this, of course, is 6-channel. This is 8-channel. They're both N-pin. There may be some new exciting things coming out with this. Can't talk about it yet, but we will eventually, as soon as we can. It's already here, but I can't talk about it, so I'm not gonna. But we're not using an Avian ESC in here. We're using whatever ESC it came with that is flopping around in there.
Right.
So, interestingly enough, the reason for the question is that we don't know if thrust reverse is gonna work.
Right.
And I don't have any intentions of setting up full-length flaps. I don't care. I don't think it's necessary on this model. I think we're gonna set up an inboard flap like normal. We're gonna have a regular elevator. It's not, you know, like two surfaces. It's not a telebond. This is all mechanically connected. This is mechanically and electronically connected, rather, to the rudder. And so we're not gonna separate out the steering unless we have problems. Now, that would be the other reason why you might consider going up to the 8-channel, okay? Is because if you wanna have separate steering gains, you can do that with the 8360T, okay? So the reason I say is because you'd have to separate the rudder from the steerable nose gear, okay? So just keep in mind we got this little breakout board, and that's where the rudder comes from there, and then the rudder comes in from here, okay? So what's gonna happen is if you decide to do that, you're gonna have to take the rudder feed that goes up front, you'll have to detach it there, plug that into your extra channel, and then you're gonna plug this rudder just probably through the breakout board is what I would assume you'll do. Now you could also just plug that into the receiver directly. Personally, I don't think this breakout board does that much. It's mostly for the wings. So anything else you wanna do, you could just eliminate it and go straight into your receiver. They've done a good job of making it close. So it's easy to kind of bypass that board if you want to. I don't mind breakout boards. I just wanna be able to easily bypass them, which is what other influencers have said over the past years, and that's the way I feel too. That being said, because of this ambiguous yellow wire that comes up here, we believe it to be thrust reverse. We are obviously gonna try that. But the thing is, we don't need an 8-channel if we're not gonna separate off the steering nose gear, and we don't need it if we don't need thrust reverse.
Right.
Because we have plenty with 6. We have throttle, elevator, rudder, ailerons, flaps, retracts. And everything else we do is unpluggable above and beyond the first 6 channels, which you do have access to with the NX10 or the NX8 or the NX6 or the NX70 or the DX lineup, I believe, but we're up to 20 channels on this. Mm-hmm. So even on the NX7, you've got 14 channels, the NX6, you've got 14 channels. So you have plenty of channels to plug into. It just kind of comes back to how many knobs and switches you need. Okay, so I suggest if you don't care about the Hall effect sensors on the NX10, just get the NX8. You're gonna get all the features you need, okay? NX70, you lose some features like Wi-Fi connectivity, which is nice for updating firmware. If your Wi-Fi is good enough, we're out in the boonies, it's not very good. Yeah. Our internet service provision is not very good. It's not just the fact that our Wi-Fi is not good. Our Wi-Fi is fine, but internet service provider doesn't give us very good connectivity, okay? So I'm torn. Do we start with the AR8360T and just shoot for a home run right now with the idea that we know we could split out the steerable nose gear if we need it? Yeah, maybe lean that direction. It's not a huge difference in price, okay?
Right.
Because I think there's a $15 premium for this over this. Now there's a big jump from this to the 630 and the 631, but I don't think a lot of us are gonna be putting a 630 in a model of this caliber. But if I misunderstand, remember, you can do almost everything we're gonna do with this with the 631. I would get the 631 at least for the external antennas. But then it's also still, if you do a 630, it's end pin, so you can have the same orientation that we do. But if you do top pins on the 631, you'll be fine in this application anyway, okay? Because we have plenty of room in there.
Yep.
That being said, it's tempting to go with this because I may not need the channels, but we do elaborate on this on every model we do and how we came, sorry about that, how we came to the conclusion that we came to. In this case, I'm kind of leaning toward probably start with the 8.
Yeah, and then if
we don't need it before we glue this, we'll know, we'll just swap out the packaging and we'll just go back to what we at.
Yeah.
So anyway, we mean to be fully transparent when we do these decision-making processes, because at the end of the day, we're here to teach you how to do this, not just what we did, okay?
Right.
Maximum value for hard-earned dollars, okay?
And if thrust reverse works, you're gonna want it.
Well, it depends on where you fly. You may not need it, you may not want it.
You're going to want it.
I'm gonna want
Yes.
it, but we just extended our runway by like 100 and something feet.
Well, maybe we don't
Which
need it.
I still haven't measured it, sorry. I think it's gotta be like about 100 feet extended.
Yeah,
We
probably,
should
because
measure
it's
it.
longer, because it's 80 the other way, and it's longer.
It's 84 this way. I think it's like 100 and something that way.
Yep.
But the next extension we need to do is 172 feet by 12. In case you guys are wondering.
Super
It's gonna
small.
be super cheap. Just waiting on pins and needles for the invoice. We don't have it yet. All right, so we'll go ahead and unpack this one. We can put it back in the package if we need to, and we'll just go back to what we had. Now, both of them are gonna have this same micro pH red and black cable that's gonna be used to plug in for telemetry data. It takes these two leads, like test leads, off of the main discharge lead from the battery, and it goes to this little plug, which is gonna plug in right here. And I'll just show that that plugs in real quick, because you guys might not get a great look at it. And it says volts, okay? So that's like your flight pack voltage, but it's nominal voltage, not smart voltage. So now remember, if we would ever get sick and tired of having this thing flop around in there, that ESC, we could put in an Avian ESC. I don't think I'm gonna really care, so I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. But I will tell you this, Avian ESCs are good. I really do like them, and they are nice. But if you wanna look in here for a second, I was thinking about this earlier today in an unrelated time, and I was thinking to myself, why don't you just take this obnoxious issue here and just put some foam on there? Because remember, guys, the foam I saved that, you know, my wife was super happy about from making this battery slide back, that's when our battery died. So I should welcome you back. Welcome back from the battery death.
Yep.
Okay, so we slid the battery back. We've got new batteries in our camera. In this case, it's a cell phone, okay? So I was just gonna stick this on there, boop, on the Velcro, boop. And then I'm gonna stick this on here, boop. And that's all I'm gonna do, right? Just like, ooh, that needs to go this way because it's kind of thicker over here. Just the way it cut out, okay? Then I'm gonna take and put a little China glue. Why?
Was that what you were explaining to me this morning?
Yeah, I know, it was pretty complicated.
Not what I was envisioning.
What were you envisioning?
I don't know, not that.
Probably something much more grand and exciting.
Maybe that's why I was confused.
Well, I mean, this is just, the only reason this matters is this gonna get us out from the wall a little bit so that it can actually sit there, okay? And truth is, we're just gonna let that sit there and cook off for a minute. And then I'm gonna slide it in there and stick it to the side there, kind of where that servo opening is.
Yep.
That ambiguous box, I'm not sure why it's there for, okay? And then I'm gonna slide this back in, and it's gonna be hunky-dory and everything's gonna work great, and it's gonna be fun. But as you can see, give them a shot. This is the Beetles. Oh, we've worked the Beetles
I've had
before.
Beetles.
Beetles are so cute.
Do they work for thrust reverse?
I don't know, we'll find out.
Yep.
So now that we've got that there, we can just stuff that down in the hole, give it a wriggle, like Bear Grylls style wriggle. Now I'm gonna lift it up so that the air can get in between there, and it's not even stuck down intentionally so that it can cook off, okay?
Okay.
So now we have to do one other thing while we're getting ready to set up this model. What are you doing? We have to do one more thing.
I was looking at where that was gonna go.
So this is the battery lead that's gonna sample the battery voltage for the pack voltage, also known as the nominal voltage, which is the voltage of the main discharge lead, not individual cells, okay? So I take this thing and I hold it between my thumb and forefinger and I spin it a few times, right? And that makes a twist, right? So then I do this, and then I think to myself, self, why did they not do this at the factory? And then I get annoyed, and then I do it anyway. But as you can see, when I'm done with this, it will be tidy and resilient, okay? I don't go all the way to the end because these micro pH connectors are not the strongest connectors you've ever seen in your life, and so I don't like to put any undue pressure on there, okay? So then I just do this, like this, all the way back here. And that is as easy as pie. It's actually a lot harder than pie because, as you can tell, I enjoy a lot of it, and it has definitely shown over the years.
And you're not the one making it.
That's true. So is pie easy?
No, pie is not easy.
It's not easy to make?
Not if you want good pie crust.
Well, it's easy to eat.
It is easy to eat.
So this is not as easy as pie because I would have enjoyed the pie process more than twisting a cable that should have been twisted at the factory for me for an expensive receiver, okay? But if I have complaints about stuff, I'll mention them here on this channel, not because I want to discourage you from buying good quality products, but just because there's always gripes that we all share. And that means even with some of these very good hobby grade, but still, you know, retail grade. This isn't a JR receiver. This isn't, you know, like a power box receiver setup.
Right.
It's not going to be the most expensive thing you can ever buy, which you don't have to have the most expensive thing to have a good experience. Just to be clear. Okay, so now that we have let that cook off for a minute, I'm going to go ahead and come in here and just press that tight into the wall and just hope it stays, and it probably won't. Nope, it's sticking now. Okay, so that's cool. So now I'm going to take and pull the pants down. Yep, that's right. You heard it right here on Brian Phillips RC. We're going to pull the pants down. You want to give them a shot of the pants? Those things?
Yes.
Okay.
Those things.
Can you make sure you don't walk into that wing?
I am.
Thank you. Okay, so this is what I mean by the pants, okay? There's a hair in my pliers, disgusting. See this? Look, I'm not left-handed, guys. I'm right-handed, so. Gosh, I want to open this stupid connector, but it's not wanting to let me open. Beatles, you got me again. Now it's pulling off the foam a little bit.
The foam is coming off?
I wonder if I should just pull it off right now while it's still kind of tacky. And then I can get out here and undo the pants easier, okay? Okay, you see what I'm talking about? There's a little depression there, and you can pop these down, but they're sometimes a little challenging depending on what type of connector we're dealing with. But what'll happen is once you pop that down, if you do it right, which, gosh, it's really fighting me. Jeez. I'll go get a flat screwdriver, I guess. A flat screwdriver should help me release this.
You only have to do it once, hopefully.
Pull the pants down?
Take your pants off once.
Well, I mean, depends on how motivated you are to get the job done the first try.
Well.
Now, you don't have to pull the pants down. You got clear heat shrink. You just slide your wire up there, too. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically go in here like this and just try to walk that back so that the XT90 releases. Come on, release. Release.
Some of the newer ones have been way harder to do.
Well, they're just the cheap, crappy kind. The higher quality ones, which is funny because, you know, it's like China Hobby Lines selling the batteries, and they have this Beatles brand ESC. But all this does is it just kind of covers up the solder joint. But I'm gonna be persistent and obnoxious, and I'm gonna end up breaking the thing is what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know.
Gosh, I don't like these T-chicken. That brand. It's got an R on there too. It's registered, whatever that means. In China, that means like, please don't steal it.
Instead of just don't steal it.
Okay. I'm getting kind of annoyed with this.
I think you're gonna have to keep your pants on.
I don't know, hon. I feel like that's a last resort.
Well, see, you've got a little bit of a gap now. Can you get your screwdriver in there?
Maybe. That's, of course, I grabbed the world's largest screwdriver.
Don't stab yourself.
Yeah, trust me. The thought had crossed my mind.
Okay.
See? Ooh.
See? Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go.
Yes, pulling the pants down, slow but sure. See, it's a matter of motivation. It's a matter of motivation. It's one of the main gender role differences. Okay, see what I'm talking about? Very nice.
Okay.
Now you could solder that if you wanted to, but I'm not gonna do that. Okay, the reason I'm not gonna do that is because many of you are gonna be like, yeah, I don't really know how to solder, Brian. I understand that you don't know how to solder, but you need to know how to pull pants down. These pants, right there. Okay, so I'm gonna just slide this through. That is really tight, actually.
Say,
I hope I can get that through.
Going?
Yeah, there it goes. Okay, it went through okay. But this is good, it'll hold on to it nice. Okay, so if you guys don't know what's going on here and you're still confused and hearing all this pants pulling down business, well, all we're trying to do is get these little sample points. If you had a soldering iron, you just heat that up and drop it in right there and you'd be done with it. But I'm way too lazy for that crap.
We're gonna do it the hard way.
Yeah, we're gonna do it the extreme hard way. So watch this. Booyah, watch this. I'm gonna just slip it on in there. Okay, and you're probably thinking to yourself, are you kidding me? That's what you're gonna do, Brian? That is the most haphazard, crappy thing ever. And I would be like, yeah, but it works.
Yep. That's
And you wanna know how often I have failures, guys? You wanna know how many times I've had failures from doing it this way?
Never.
You are correct, camera crew. 0% failure rate. That is 0 out of hundreds of times lazily doing it this half-assed method. But the truth is you could also just get a soldering iron out. If you're sitting in your soldering iron shed and you've got your soldering irons just sitting around, I would just tap it with the soldering iron and be done with it. Because frankly, it's not really that big a deal. The reason I like doing it this way is because if there's pants involved, first of all, you get to pull them down, which is fun. But then second of all, it's just being a pain in the butt. So what's happening? Second of all, what happens is you're not really carrying hardly any load here, okay? And that's what dictates whether or not this is gonna be okay, okay?
Right.
You have like almost no electrical load.
And if that connection point fails,
You just lose your telemetry. It's not like your plane crashes because you lose a telemetry point. It would probably start alarming, which would be extremely obnoxious. Now, there is one other thing you could do that would be super duper easy. If you have a pair of strippers just sitting around while your pants are down, I would just grab the strippers and just stick the wire in there and just strip this back right there. And that'll just give you a little longer sample point. Okay, now I'll show you what that looks like. Now again, you don't have to do any of this crap. You could just leave this feature out if you don't care about it, but there again, you paid pretty good money for this telemetry feature. And this is actually a telemetry feature I want. Come on, there it is. Get in there. So now I'm just using, this just happens to be like a really 0.7 millimeter driver. And that gives me the chance to lift up some of that silicone while I am got the pants pulled down. I like to play with the silicone while the pants are down. Okay, hold that in place. Okay, very good. So now we can just hold that down with our finger and then pull the slack back on the red. We're just gonna fold that into a tidy little position like this. Then I'm just gonna, for posterity reasons, we're gonna let the stripper go to work on the black one this time. And just pop that right out. And this is gonna be the negative lead, of course. And then I know some of you guys are screaming like, hey Brian, just get the soldering iron out, man. It's not that big a deal. Just get the soldering iron, you drive me crazy, Brian.
Well, that's like the one tool we don't have in our kitchen, so we can't do that.
Well, they know, what? You know what happens to people that smell too much lead? Lead dust, and...
They can't smell anymore?
No.
No, you go crazy, don't you?
Yeah. So obviously...
Is that your problem?
Obviously, I haven't
done a lot of soldering in your day?
Yeah. Well, I have. That might explain some things. Okay, so guys, all I'm doing now is I'm just sliding this tip in. Okay, now that I've opened up a pocket, I can just slide this in. It's of course very easy to film this type of apparatus. And once you've got enough penetration, deep penetration into that pocket, then you can just let it fall back down. And here in a minute, we'll pull our pants back up. Okay. So we've got that there. Very nicely done, Brian, I might add. 0% failure rate, folks. 0. Out of hundreds of times. Okay? So if you think it's not good enough, I mean, I appreciate that you might want to go ahead and solder that. It would take 3 seconds if we had a soldering iron. And I would totally just solder it. But I don't. I'm lazy. So. All right. Now, the other thing is I can tape that. I can tape that just to take the relief.
Are you going to tape it now or after you pull your pants back up?
Well, you know, that's true. We probably should pull the pants back.
Because I don't think it's going to go. That was pretty tight.
It was tight.
Usually you pull them up and then tape them.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, the strippers, we strip the extra, you know, length.
Right. That'll definitely help.
That will. So I'm going to hold this now. So as I pull the pants back up, okay, I'm pretty sure these are called pants.
But we didn't just make that up.
Maybe I did. That'd be embarrassing.
You probably did.
It's like, Brian, those are called shorts. Oh, dang it. So now, remember, I have to hold this while I'm doing this. You know what? I'm going to just tape it now.
Tape it now? Well, yeah,
tape it
that's
now.
fine.
Okay, so I'll use scissors to, we'll just scissor this for a minute. We'll just scissor that, got it? Get that a little bit, you know, and we don't need a huge amount. So what I'll do is I'll just cut that and just scissor that down the middle. And what we'll do is we'll come in here and just wrap that right on there. And you see, now it's going to hit the other wire, right? Not so fast.
Can you hold your other piece of tape?
Nah, no, I prefer to have my hands full of 3 or 4 things unnecessarily. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Pulling my pants down and inviting the strippers. It's all right. It's all part of the show. Gosh, honey. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this because it's vinyl tape. That'll hold it nice and tight. Okay, very good. Look at that. Now I can snap my pants right on. Oh, geez, that's hard. Holy crap. Oh, yeah. Okay, so now it's plugged in. Okay, easy as that. 5-second process. Now, listen, the only problem with this setup is technically this should be going all the way through under there.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking about.
I don't like that at all. I bet this is nice and tacky, though. Unlike my jokes. Those are definitely primo. See what I'm doing now? Slide that back up in there. Slide it back up in there. Stick it down, baby. Right there, okay? So now I can slide this wire. I can make a decision on how long it's gonna need to be. And frankly, I don't think we're gonna have the length that we normally do to get all the way through that pocket anyway. So I would say what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here.
You're going to need all that length to get back to here anyway.
Darn right. And then look, we're gonna really limit it's already limited.
Yeah.
So what's the next thing we have to do because of that whole apparatus, camera crew?
No, I don't think you should do that yet. I think you need to make sure you've got enough length
Well, I mean, it ain't
before
gonna get
you
any
cut
longer.
a slot.
It ain't gonna get any longer. Well, the other thing is, you know, we're not putting a receiver up here.
No.
Even though we might need to move that stupid thing to get the center of gravity to work out. You see, we're all the way off our Velcro strips now, which is super annoying. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and do exactly what I wanted to do because it's kind of needs to happen.
Because I'm never going to listen to my wife anyway.
No, I listen to my wife all the time, just not this time. Because this is one of the rare times when she was incorrect.
She wasn't incorrect.
She's just
Difference of opinion.
okay, so yeah. Definitely not wrong.
No.
Definitely not wrong. So I'm just sliding this down in there, all the way to the base of that. So I just slit that, push it down. And you're probably thinking to yourself, good Lord, Brian, I came for the radio setup. I didn't know you were gonna cut slots and have strippers involved in pulling your pants down. Well, you know, let's get more than you bargained for at Brian Phillips RC. So we're gonna go right here. See how I'm cutting at an angle? That's gonna allow me a pocket that's down here in this crevice, but I can't put the tool any deeper in there. and I don't want to cut at such a steep angle, so I'm just going to go like this. Just aim for the corner that I want it to end up in, and then just finish that cut. Now, yeah, it's going to weaken that structurally slightly, but again, we're talking about a very small factor here, okay? And plus, if you're concerned, just slather a little glue in there. No big deal if you do that. So I'm putting this like that to press in. So I go in sideways. Once I'm in, then I turn it vertical and I press. I don't know what you're doing with that camera. Just
I'm
keep
trying to see around your hand.
You're not going to see around my hand. My hand's huge.
I know.
Okay, so then I need to get it to come all the way over here, and that means that I have to get through this block, okay? So there's two ways we can do that. We can cut a slot all the way down, or we can try to press a hole through. I think pressing a hole through is probably not gonna work because that's a pretty big connector.
Yeah.
And what would have been smarter if you were gonna do it that way would be to feed the wire through. So hypothetically, you all watching this at home might be able to do that more easily. I'm just gonna cut a channel right here. I'm just gonna get my penetrations even so that it comes out about where it needs to be, and then just follow through a couple of times with my cuts, okay? Then I'm gonna take my screwdriver flat, slide it in, open the channel up just a hair so that it's not so hard to actually feed this in, so as potentially damaging the cable as I do force it into the tight crack. Okay, so we'll just force it in tight like that, into the tight, deep hole. And then we'll lift up this stuff and we'll actually pull this back until it's tight, okay? So as you can see, we're now channeled all the way along there. We're not gonna have that in the way when we're putting our battery in and out, and we have plenty of slack, which we can actually absolve a little bit of this length back to here if we need it, but we don't know for sure that we're gonna need it yet. And just thinking about the way this receiver sits, or excuse me, this battery sits, I am frankly concerned we're gonna have the battery eventually spill into this pocket here.
I think the CG is not right.
I think we're gonna fly it probably like this, and we're gonna undo this Velcro, and we're just gonna Velcro it like this, and that's the way it's gonna be. And well, but you gotta remember, like, some people just put dead weight in. We just don't do that.
Right.
Like, we're kind of like not okay with dead weight. Okay, so I'm gonna pull this tight, and then I'm gonna press this tight onto the top of the battery, and that's gonna hold the battery in place, but it's only holding one little point. So
yeah.
Thank God we got the shelf liner in there so it doesn't slide easily, yeah?
Right.
Okay, so that's in there. We can easily make our connection, and obviously that's not gonna be real difficult to do that right now. And we do have quite a bit of room for manipulating that, but we can still pull a little excess through. In fact, I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to, so I'm gonna just do that right now.
Yeah, I think
so. Watch what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab this end, I'm gonna pull this back. See what I'm talking about? Yeah. There we go, that wasn't too bad. So there we go. So that's where I think we're gonna have plenty of slack now. And our next big thing is to actually figure out the, let's just make sure we can reach, okay? Because eventually we're gonna have to figure out a position for this. Now keep in mind, this is along the length of the plane in a vertical plane. This is along the plane on a vertical plane, flat on this plane, vertical on this plane, but here you don't wanna be, because this is not even, I'm exaggerating it, it's like this.
Right.
Okay, so as it tucks in and goes like that, you will not easily correct for that angle, okay? My suggestion is pick down on the bottom if you can, okay? Then we can see, obviously, this is going to reach. Now, if this is 637 versus an 830, an AR8360T, it's not gonna matter because it's just a little bit narrower, okay? Same exact otherwise setup, okay? Yeah. So then what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to eventually lay that down there, lay that down there, lay that down there. I'm thinking it's probably gonna be like this, and it's gonna be back there. because then if we have to undo that breakout board from those 4 screwed standoffs, we can then eliminate all the connectors except for what we need for the wings and do what we need to do there. Okay. So now the next big move we have to make is going to entail actually setting up the model. Okay. So the electronic model profile in the transmitter has to be set up at some point. So that's where we are now, because really we can't set up a lot of the rest of the stuff until we know how the profile's set up. It just can't be done, okay? So our next move is to actually set up a profile. We're gonna name it, and then we're gonna go ahead and build that profile. That's gonna tell us where to land the cables on this particular device, okay? So if you look at this device with me real quick, we have the bind plug, which we don't really use because we use the bind button, okay? But then we have port 1, port 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, but we don't know exactly where things plug in. Now, if you do a lot of spectrum planes, you could probably deduce from past experience where things are gonna end up, but in our case, we're gonna go ahead and go through the profiles so that you can follow along. Okay, so this is the model name, so we'll go ahead and type in Super Tucano 1.6, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll be right back. All right, so we called it the Super Tucano 1.6 meter, and there's not enough characters to put China hobby lines. And so aircraft type, it will be a normal, nope. It's gonna be a single aileron, single flap, and a normal tail. And we'll scroll down and select an image from the standard image files. I think we have one that would be pretty close. We'll do the BF109. BF109 seems closest. All right, so then flight mode setup is going to be set to switch D in my case, because that's going to give us a choice between AS3X, off, and safe, is what I'm going to set it up to do. Now you could set yours up slightly different, but I just want you guys to have a baseline. Highlight, cancel, cancel. We're going to type in the word safe, or excuse me, AS3X on this one, because that's the kind of my default setting is in the up position. And so you guys might not want it in the up position, but you can just closely mimic our setup to give you a baseline. So AS3X stands for artificial stabilization 3-axis. That's what X is spelled with. Axis is spelled with X, as you know from elementary school.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Is that right?
Yes.
And then we're going to scroll way down to here. All right, so then here's AS3X mode. Now that's AS3X Plus in this case, because we have an AS3X Plus capable transmitter and AS3X Plus capable receiver. Okay, so that's what it's going to be for that one. Then this one's going to be off, so we'll highlight that. Highlight, cancel, cancel. And then we'll type the word OFF. And remember, this is just a display. It's just a label for a switch condition, but that switch condition is actually tied to a flight mode. And so in our case, now we'll scroll down to off. It's a little closer to the top of the list, so we'll stick with you on this one. But if you ever wondered how we wear out our scrolly wheels, it's by setting up thousands or hundreds of bottles. And most people don't set up hundreds of bottles even after some time, okay? So there's AS3X mode, off, and then this one's gonna be safe. So now obviously I don't fly in safe much, but safe is sensor assisted flight envelope. And it's a very, very good tool to use when you're brand new to flying to help with the survivabilities of your planes by helping you automatically level the aircraft and limiting your bank angles by whatever you set. We'll show you how to set that stuff up. So safe, okay? So safe, off, and AS3X. Remember, this part is going to be displayed on the screen somewhere in this area when you're flying, and then that will actually be an audio event that's tied to each of those conditions. Then channel assign, the only thing I know we got to switch is flaps. Aux 7 is set to B. I don't know why by default, so we'll inhibit that. I don't really necessarily have a problem with that, except I don't want it on aux 8, which is a pluggable channel. I don't want 9 to be attached to the right level or 10 to the left lever, because then you have a center beep every time you move this and it hits the beep. It's really annoying. So I'm going to go right back to, let's just set channel 9, the first unpluggable channel, to master gain. Okay, which is just arbitrary. It doesn't matter which one, just as long as it's not one of the pluggables, because we want to use the pluggables for stuff. Okay, then aux 10 we'll actually set to either switch D or scroll all the way to the left, and you can make it flight mode. So that's aux 10 or channel 10. It's actually not aux 10 in other menus, though, because it's going to be aux 1, 2, 3, or is it aux 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? It gets very confusing.
Yeah.
But don't worry about it. Don't be confused. Just figure it out with us, okay? So flight mode is going to be attached to 10, okay? And then I'm going to set channel 8 will eventually be set to switch G for thrust reverse if it works. I don't know that it's going to work. We'll find out real quick. If it doesn't work, it's not going to matter because we're going to switch to a 637 anyway.
Right.
And then it's not going to matter, okay? So unpluggable and unpluggable at that point. Make sense? So now we walk back out to the main menu. First thing you want to set up is throttle cut so we don't chop our hands off. Inhibit, switch H. See how this is on the wrong channels? I don't know why it defaults to that. So stupid. Okay, now I got throttle over here. It's obviously throttle cut is working because you see that throttle is not changing down there. Turn off the throttle cut, you can see it springs to life. Very nice. Okay, so throttle cut's back on, and you can tell it's working, so we'll go ahead and leave that as is. Then rates and expo. This is something that I set up by default on all my planes, unless there is a specific call out for something that seems a little bit unusual, like on, what was that little dual motored plane? You know what I'm talking about? It's not the erratics.
No, what was it?
It was a UMX and a full-size one, and it had
Ultrix.
Ultrix.
Yep.
Yeah, the Ultrix, not erratics.
No.
Ultrix. Okay. And that thing was crazy, and you had to set this up to control the flight controller. So it's very unusual, or helicopters. Helicopters are a little bit different.
Yep.
Okay, so 5%, then 10, then 20 with a rate reduction down to 90. So this is our medium point, soften the sticks the most, and soften the sticks the least. Most precise, but also the most erratic control, the most neutral middle of the ground, and then the most slow, the most calm, the most relaxed. So for high-speed passes, stuff like that, I just start there, fly there. If I have a problem, I can switch to there. It switches all 3 of my axis of control because I don't like splitting them out. There's just too many things to worry about while you're flying because you're only going to make changes to this like one time. You're going to see how it flies, and then you're going to leave it, okay? That's why it's sort of dumb that I set up 3, but at the same time, you know, some guys fly in vastly different flight conditions, and they want to be able to say, hey, it's a super windy day, so I want to, you know, have a little bit more precision, or it's like it's really calm, there's no reason to have it, I'm going to just go to here, whatever. I just don't do that, okay? Not trying to take anything away from other people's styles, it's just not my style. This will at least get you in the air, give you a good level of success, or at least give you an opportunity towards success. And then when you get to the ground, you can make your adjustments, okay? So let's say you're flying along and you've got rudder, aileron, and elevator, all 3 primary flight surfaces tied to that. You realize it's just way touchy on the elevator. Come down here, that's gonna help you get to the ground. Then you get to the ground, and then you go into the expo, and you scroll over to elevator, and you're like, I need to turn this middle setting up. So then that becomes 20. And then maybe you set this one to like 40 or something like that, you know? Because really what I've got is I've got a doubling and a halving effect, okay, of the preset values, right? And that's the default amount. So you got a halving and a doubling, okay, with a little bit of a rate drop. Make sense? If it doesn't, try it. If you don't like it, change it. It is highly subjective, okay? Throttle cut's not highly subjective, but that is. Flap system, we're gonna make it tied to switch B, because that's what I like. I can get to it. I'm a thumb flyer, not a pincer flyer, so I have trouble getting to the switch D and switch C. I like getting to switch B, A, G, and H, okay? I don't get to here very often unless I absolutely need to. I rarely switch E, switch D. I do to just switch modes, mostly for video footage. For you guys, and then switch C, occasionally I'll have some flapper-ons or like some weird mix.
Right.
Okay?
Not very often.
Not very often. Okay, so I'm gonna set the speed to 2 seconds. And then I'm gonna leave these as something down and something up, but we don't really even know what direction it is. This is an inboard flap, so I'll set this to like 6 and 10, and it probably will not even be right, but we'll have something to start with. My only issue with doing that is if I need to center surfaces, this might trick us, okay?
Yeah.
So as a result, we usually don't set them. However, this one came all pre-assembled.
True.
So we're gonna hope for the best, right? So we'll walk out of the menu. And the other thing is that gives me the ability to then move the flaps a little bit if I realize they're overdriven when I first turn it on, okay? So I'll put it in the middle setting, meaning switch B is in the middle setting as opposed to landing flaps or normal flight. It'll be in the middle, so hopefully they'll be the safest potential position. Okay, clear the timer. That's speaking of timer, timer's not gonna be a huge issue because we're gonna have telemetry for our pack telemetry, but I am gonna go ahead and set it to, let's just say 6 minutes. Active, anything over 25% is gonna start it. At 1 minute, I want a voice call out. At 20 seconds, nothing. 10 seconds, voice call out, and then tone and vibration upon expiration with a tone every minute thereafter. Okay. All right, so if I give throttle, it starts the timer, starts counting down, I cancel it, it resets. Throttle cuts on, neutral for expo, neutral for flaps. Gear are not really set yet. I am gonna have to set up one more thing on digital switch setup for thrust reverse, but we're gonna deal with that a little bit later because at this point it doesn't really matter yet because we're not even bound. But digital switch setup is gonna look something like this. Switch G, we'll change that value probably to -100, so that'll be forward thrust, and then -100, which will be, that'll be +100, that'll be reverse thrust, and then +100 will also be reverse thrust, okay? That's my predisposition, but we'll get to that after we actually bind. Throttle cuts on. Gear are hypothetically down, but you never know until you know, so we're not worried about that yet. And now at this point, we can start landing wires, okay? We are not gonna know if thrust reverse works until later. So a couple things about safety. We have our prop installed. We are pretty careful about stuff. Okay, we have an exhaust port that's hitting, so I've now moved it slightly. We also made sure our antenna is clear. It is clear, so we won't damage anything. If this were to start, it's gonna have a tremendous amount of torque, and it's also gonna blow things all over the place. I'm gonna move the canopy just to be on the safe side. If the gear were to open, the gear are gonna have maybe clearance, so I'm probably gonna have to put this like that while we're binding just in case something weird happens, okay? So we're not bound yet though. We're not binding yet. We gotta land wires. Okay. So first things first, throttle cuts on, throttle 6 down. Check that periodically as you're doing your setup, okay? So now we can scroll over one window to the monitor and you can see throttle is on channel 1. So throttle is labeled on here. It says ESC, not throttle, okay? So we'll go to ESC. So ESC, there's black. How do we know where down is? How do we know where negative is? It's down. It's silk screened right there.
There it goes.
See the negative, it's down. Positive is in the middle and signal is up. So channel 1 is gonna be ESC. Okay, we're not worried about binding. I just happen to hit that. Then what's next, camera crew?
Aileron would be channel 2.
Where's the elevator? I have that in my hand.
Channel 3.
Channel 3, so the third channel, which is actually the 4th port on this. Just make sure black is down. See, I plugged that in upside down. So that's no good. I wanna make sure I flip that around. So I flip that around, skipping a port, going to channel 3. White's up, good. Okay, so what do we have here? We have flaps, okay?
6.
I'm not ready for that yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can get ailerons. You said ailerons were next.
Yep,
okay.
channel 2.
So we'll do channel 2 next. Sometimes this is a cable management 101. As you pull wires out from the bundle, pull them out in such a way that they untangle themselves as much naturally as possible. It's not always possible to do that, just so you know. Okay, then rudder.
4.
Okay, so we'll go under. I'll grab the label, pull that back, make sure I can see the white. Going into port 5, channel 4, meaning the 5th port, labeled as channel 4. Then gear.
5.
Okay, so again, grabbing the plug, pulling this back so I can see a little better. It's trying to rip the labels. That's no me gusta. So just plug this into channel 5. Okay, then we have one more, which is going to be, of course, for us, flaps. Okay, so pull that label back. Flaps are gonna be on what?
6.
Channel 6. Okay, so sometimes known as auxiliary 1. Looks like ailerons tried to rip off and did successfully start ripping off. Okay, so hopefully we don't have problems with that, but that would be everything except for thrust reverse. Thrust reverse is gonna be on channel 8. 7 is not hooked to anything, okay? So this is just gonna be signal if it does what I expect it might. So we're gonna go into the top pin of the 8th port. That's only signal because the ESC is gonna carry our plus and minus for the power. Now you can see what I was talking about. We don't know exactly how this is gonna lay out, but if we can get this close enough up here, you might be able to mount it here because then you're close enough to square. I just think it's gonna be better if we can make it lay down here. And there is a little bit extra wire that we can pull from that ESC, but not much, okay? And so as you can see, this ESC line here, I might be able to pull some through. Yep, there's extra. There's extra. See, that was the limiting factor that was stopping me from laying this down in the middle here. Okay. But you see kind of what I'm doing now. I'm just seeing where my options are going to be. Oh, I'm going to have to go under this thing, aren't I? So I'll probably just unplug this LED line here and just drop this down to where I believe it's going to go, which is going to probably be there. Then I'm gonna wrap this back around and I'm gonna try my best to figure out where the color is. It looks like negative is that way. Yep, it is. So I'll just plug this into where it says LED. Now remember, polarity on LEDs matter. They obviously won't work if they're backward, and depending on the type of LED and the application, you might burn them out if you plug them in backward, unlike an incandescent bulb that won't typically burn out, okay? But the current limiting resistor that's built into many of these little breakout boards should probably protect you from that. Okay, so I just push that back temporarily until such a time as we're done with our screwing around part. And that's gonna tell us whether or not we can get away with mounting this, okay? So for now, it's just gonna be there temporarily. We're not actually going to be leaving it in that position until we've established that thrust reverse works.
Correct.
Okay? So the landing gear are gonna sweep. Need to push this back a little bit. Okay. That nose gear might sweep into the assembly, so I gotta go back even further. Okay, I think we might be okay there. We're gonna assume we're gonna be okay, it might not be, okay? So I'm gonna be Johnny on the spot with this. The gear shouldn't immediately open, but sometimes they do. Throttle cut is on, that doesn't mean this isn't gonna run. So the first thing we need to do is we need to plug in power, and then we need to hit the bind button. I don't wanna be reaching around this while that's all going down, so I'm gonna actually point this a little bit different. I'm gonna make sure my canopy is out of the way. I'm gonna make sure that I can be in a safe position. I'm in a safe position here. I can control the battery. Let's say all hell breaks loose and this thing throttles up full throttle. I can hold this until the battery dies. Or I can have the camera crew grab this and I can unplug the battery. Okay, I've never had that happen.
Nope.
In 10 years. Okay, there are some safety features that actually work in this hobby. That's one of them usually. If you're nervous, if you can't handle the risk, take out the screw, take off the nut, pull that out, okay? In our case, we're gonna be pressing this button shortly, but I just wanna talk through that before we do it. So first things first, plug in the battery, keep your elbow out of the prop just in case all hell breaks loose. Plugging it in, okay. Okay, now I'm pressing this button. Starting the bind mode, okay? So now camera crew, I'm gonna scroll down, I clicked, bind, yes, bind, holding. Okay, the flaps came down. This is where the motor might start if something was gonna go haywire. It's auto configuring the telemetry. We're just gonna let it go through the process. First thing we need to do is check gear. Then we're gonna check throttle. Normally we check throttle first, but I wanna make sure the gear don't pop out. So you can see my gear are technically down. Oh yeah, yep. So now I know I need to reverse that. Click, servo setup, travel, reverse, gear. Now I've got the gear up, okay? I like the switch being up if the gear are up, okay? All that looks good. By the way, there's a big exhaust vent right there. It's pretty sweet, I just noticed that.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now also the flaps, they are working, elevator's working. Ailerons are working. Elevator is the correct direction. Ailerons are the correct direction. Yaw is incorrect. So while we're in here, rudder, there's left and right, okay? Elevator up, elevator down. Roll left, roll right. Take off flaps, landing flaps. I need to check throttle before I get ahead of myself too far.
Okay.
First of all, we are right on the edge of clearing. So I'm going to very carefully hold the plane. I'm gonna be in the regular menu. Throttle cuts off. That's got a lot of torque.
Yeah, it does.
That's 12% throttle.
Wow.
Throttle cut's now on. I trust the throttle cut now. I trust through the whole range. I trust it. Okay. Also, the antennas are sticking up funny, so we'll have to eventually check that. I think I'm gonna probably go ahead and put the gear down, put it on its own feet now. Okay. So camera crew,
Yeah.
grab the sand, pull it back. Those landing gear look sweet. Can't wait to try them. Oh yeah, nice.
Wow.
Soft. That is so good. I love it. And then the nose gear, oh yeah, soft. Love it, guys. Beautiful metal oleos.
Nice.
Gorgeous. Okay, so now we can check also the steerable. Yep, steers to the correct direction and the correct direction. Okay, great. So all those things are working right. Now let's get the flaps working right. Okay, so we've already tested throttle cut is working, so we can do that with confidence, clearing our timer. Flap system. Normal flight. We're gonna walk this to negative 100. We're probably gonna have to overdrive them a little bit. Yep, so we're not quite home. And then let's exaggerate our elevator correction. This should be going down with the flaps. So when we take off flaps, those servos are quiet.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so highlight the elevator. Yep, go in the right direction. So I wanna start with 6, 6, and 10. So you can see it goes down a little bit more. There's 6, there's even, okay? So obviously for landing flaps, I'm gonna go. Just double check you're not overdriving. Yep, we're good, we're good, we're good, we're good. Yep, we got plenty of room and then some room to spare. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to servo setup. I'm gonna go into flaps. I'm gonna go neutral because I'm gonna go a little bit more on both top and bottom. And I'm just gonna open it to like 125. That seems to be kind of like a hot spot. Okay, so now that we're up, we'll go up a little more. Now, just looking at the other side, how do we look? Oh yeah, we're square.
Good, yeah.
That's awesome. You know, the last time we worked on a model, we didn't have to change that. That is unheard of. Okay. So my scrolly wheel just attacked. Did you see that?
I heard it.
So I'm just go to like 130. Okay. Now just checking underneath. I'm gonna go from 125.
Do you want me to show on the other side?
No, that's totally fine. So at 150, I'm gonna back it off to 145 so we're not right at the end of pulse width modulation, okay? Now, I don't know if that's the amount of deflection we're gonna need, but I know that we've got enough range now. So there's takeoff, that's way too much. So let's go into the flap system. Let's change 0 to closer to minus 100. Okay, so let's do like this. That might even be a little much. And then some barn doors.
Jeez.
That might be too much too. But let's go, let's do it like this. Okay. Now remember, these numbers are gonna be kind of weird and all over the place because we changed from 100, okay, so we changed from 100, 0, minus 100, or vice versa. Minus 100, 0, plus 100, to minus 145, plus 130. So it's sort of an unusual range.
Yeah.
So we're not quite hitting the center at 0. I think that's too much. I'll just back this off a little. Let's do like 75. Okay, that's still a ton. Good Lord, it's like so much.
Can
like
you have too much flaps?
Yeah, you can. But I mean, generally speaking, not the way I do it, because I want to slow down, okay? Okay, so that's good. I like the way that's set up. So now we can just recheck. Elevator up, elevator down. A little bit of bend in the swing, show that. See that bend? That's lame.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. Plus, we're pointed just ever so slightly down, but I think we're probably good, okay? So there's takeoff flaps, there's landing flaps, looks pretty good. Elevator up, elevator down. Not a lot of elevator, but you got a huge lever arm here because you got such a long plane. Rudder looks good. You hear that?
Is that the
steerable?
nose
yeah, the
wheel?
nose gear is just like, it's kind of slow.
Yeah.
And then the other thing too is, guys, just to keep in mind, the amount of deflection on these servos, there's tons of room to go out more, because if you look right here, we're on the outside most horn, okay, hole. So on the control arm, you're on the outside, that's good. And then you could move in and you would get more deflection per the same rudder input, and so on and so forth, all the way to the inside hole. I tend to like having a lot of rudder throw, okay? I like that it's fast. That's kind of a little bit unusual that that's white, but I'll take it. I love the lights, they look really good. Super excited to see this thing fly. Now, we need to test thrust reverse before we get into forward programming. This is gonna dictate whether or not we go back to a 637, okay?
Okay.
Is there another light? No, there's none on the bottom? That's
No.
kinda weird. That's surprising this is, oh wait, there's a weird green light over there.
Yeah, there is.
too.
That's what I was seeing from this side.
Yeah, that light. And I can't
That is
remember what that thing does.
Weird.
But I'm sure that there might be some feature that calls that light condition to change, and I don't know what it is. Okay, so over here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back over here, we're gonna test thrust reverse. So thrust reverse is currently tied to the G switch, okay? So the G spot there.
Yep.
So throttle cuts off, a little bit of throttle. Oh, it does definitely work, okay? That's forward thrust, and that's reverse thrust, as you can see.
Yep.
And as you can see, forward thrust and reverse thrust, and definitely effective. Sweet, okay. So we didn't waste our time with the 8 channel.
Good.
Now, for those of you that wanna go in, throttle cuts on by the way, and you wanna separate out for nose gear, steerable nose gear stabilization, that would be greater than the standard stabilization, which I must say has been impeccable on jets. I have not had a big problem with it on tricycle landing gear prop equipped planes. Just, it's like, I'm not like super worried about it. But if you are and you want to do it, it's not that hard to add that feature. You may have to put in an extra like extension cord just to reach. But you've got enough channels on this setup. You would just have to activate it in forward programming. So let's get our setup for the thrust reverse set now. Throttle cut is on, throttle stick is down. So I did confirm the theory. How do we test the theory? We go over to the monitor. Whoops. We go over to monitor. There you go. So there's your throttle, and we're looking at throttle cuts on. You're looking at aux 8. So there's plus 100. Okay. So I'm just going to hold the plane here. Throttle cuts off. So that's thrust reverse. As you can see, okay? Now that's at plus 100 on channel 8, or aux 8. And then that's gonna be your reverse. Okay, so, excuse me, that's your forward. Let me just say this again. Throttle sticks down, throttle cuts on. That's forward thrust.
Yes.
That's ambiguous, you don't want that. That's reverse thrust.
Yes.
So now we need to make these switches do what we want, okay? So we talked about this real briefly earlier. Switch G, the forward position is position 0. That's where I want forward thrust. So that's gonna be negative 100, whoops. So I'm just gonna scroll all the way down to negative 100, okay? Okay, and then we're gonna set this to plus 100. Do not float in the middle. You're not sure what you're gonna get, it's gonna cause an accident. Okay, remember, thrust reverse causes accidents anyway, so don't make it think too hard.
Right.
Okay, so plus 100, plus 100. You're like, Brian, why do you have 2 thrust reverse and only 1 forward thrust? That's just the way I set it up because I also set up pilot fatigue on this setting, except I never do pilot fatigue on prop-driven planes, okay? So now walking out, we can test our theory. Throttle cuts off. Now we should be in forward thrust. Clearly we are. Forward thrust, then reverse thrust, then reverse thrust, then reverse thrust, then forward thrust. Throttle cuts on, throttle sticks down, timer's clear. All right, so that's as easy as that. The next step is to set up forward programming, okay? So now at this point, we can go ahead and mount the receiver, okay?
Yes, we
so
can.
we're probably gonna need to get a little easier access to it. So we'll put it back on the plane stand. Camera crew, if you grab that for me, that'd be great.
Yep.
Just lay it back exactly where it was.
Wait.
That's fine.
Okay.
I think I can do that and still pivot it. But the landing gear might get in the way, so I'm gonna have to put the gear up. Okay, so gear going up. Man, those gear are slow and awesome looking. That is so sweet.
Yeah.
I'm really, really happy with the way that looks. And they're soft.
Yeah.
Squish that one. You see how the oleo is sideways?
I know, and they're like springy.
No, I mean this oleo.
That way, yeah. Like really soft.
It's soft. That's what
Yeah.
you want, guys. So many times we see models that have rock hard springs.
It's like, how are you landing that
why?
thing?
It's like, we're not landing a 1,000-pound plane.
Yeah.
And all it does is just ends up bouncing you back, okay? So soft is where it is. And plus, you don't want your tires too soft because then you get flat spots. But like, probably some of the nice landing gear, the nicest landing gear on any of the planes we have is this F7F. And they are absolutely to die for gorgeous. Super complicated too. Gotta cost a fortune to make. All right, throttle cuts on. Safety time, disconnect the battery. No reason to have this right in my elbow for no gain, okay? Because at this point, all I'm doing is gluing that in. Okay?
Right.
So we can glue it right where it is. That's a perfectly fine spot. I have no issue with that position, do you?
No.
Okay. So we're gonna get this glued, then we're gonna get our antennas positioned, and then we're gonna be done with it, okay? So a couple things we can do. Make sure you don't cornhole yourself when you need to get a wire unplugged, okay? So if you change something slightly, you want to be able to get to stuff, okay? So just don't go too tight to anything else. I would suggest right about there is pretty much perfect,
Yeah.
okay? So my suggestion is put your China glue on there. Now you could use double-sided tape or whatever, but I've just learned like it doesn't matter on these models. They don't care, okay? So just smear it on there nicely like that. And of course, let it get on your fingers.
Get it all over your fingers.
Yep. And then smear it a little bit where you're gonna put it. Now, of course, you could just lay this down and it would do the same effect because I went pretty heavy on it, and that is for the gap filling properties of going a little heavy. Would you hold that for me, please? Also notice that this cable in particular seems to be tangled. Just this one, the ESC line. I'm wondering if I can try to flip those. You know what? I don't know if it's gonna matter, but I'm gonna still try it anyway. I'm gonna undo that ESC wire, and I'm gonna let it under, right like this. Cable management 101, see the problem, fix the problem, okay? Yep, beautiful. Then I'm going to flatten the cable so that the black is down, and I'll put that back in where it belongs. And then I'm gonna take this and I'm just gonna go like that, okay? And just let that stuff sit. And as that bakes off, I just want to show you one of the biggest reasons why I like China glue. Obviously I can put this away. China glue down, see that? Yep, this is one of the reasons why I like China glue, okay? Because you can roll it up into a booger and it's clean off of your fingers and you don't have to worry about all the different cancers it's gonna cause.
It's just whatever you rubbed into your skin while you were doing that.
And put it in your wife's sink. She'll love you more.
Thank you. Yeah,
Even
I do.
more. Okay, so if you tap your finger on it like that, you'll notice that it turns into a mess of what looks like spider webs. That's normal, okay? Correct?
Correct.
So then what you can do is you can take this now at any point in your discretionary timing, and you can stick this down and get your wires where you need them because this thing's gonna stick and it ain't gonna move, okay? Yeah, ain't gonna move. That's pretty much it. That's where it's going.
Yep.
That's where it's going, and if you get it misaligned right now, you're pretty much screwed because you could pick up the whole plane by that receiver now, and I'm not exaggerating. I'm being dead serious right now, okay? Now, do you have any problems with that cable management, given that we've done virtually none of it?
No.
Okay, I don't either. So, I'm gonna take one of these cables, these antennas, and I'm gonna bring this back to where it's convenient and easy to work with, which would be probably right there. I'm kind of tempted to just do a piercing, but then I don't know if I want to waste my time on that. It might be easier to just glue the thing to the side.
Versus, yeah, glue it or tape it.
Yeah, I'll just glue it. So I can go 90 degrees on each of these, from one another. And that's really all you got to do. So I'll just take my finger and just get a little stickum on there. And I'll just go right here in a vertical way, like that. And then I will quite literally take the antenna and stick it to the glue. And you're probably thinking, there ain't no way that's gonna stay. Yeah, it absolutely will stay. In even the most crazy environments, the most crazy aerobatic maneuvers, that thing will be fine, okay? Now, the other thing you can do is you can put a singular piece of tape over the top of it to help it stay in position as well. And you'll notice I just got a little bit of sticky stuff on the antenna down there. That's all part of the show, guys. See how nice that is? See how easy that was? Took like literally mere moments to do that. Now I'm gonna just take a piece of this really crappy tape we talked about earlier, and I'm gonna quite literally take this tape and stick over the top of it and be done with it forever. Okay. And so then the only thing you gotta watch out for when you're doing this, if you do this style of antenna mount, is that you need to make sure your canopy, when seated, is not gonna stick down a bunch. Look how far down that goes.
Not very.
Like barely a quarter inch.
Yeah.
So you think we're good?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're down like half an inch. Now, we've got a vertical mount on that one, so we could do horizontal somewhere else. Or you could just let it shoot out the back.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you gonna attach it?
I'm thinking I'm gonna just try to shoot it out the back.
Yeah.
But, you know, it'd be nice to have it kind of contained so that you know for sure that it's gonna be in a 90-degree condition, okay? So I think on this one, I'll just go ahead and glue it right there. I'd even just tape it, because I don't know that I need to glue it.
The tape stuck pretty good. Sometimes the tape doesn't stick to the
That's
mold release.
Yeah, and that's why I did the glue thing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do the glue thing again since I already got a little bit of glue on my finger, okay? And you would never be able to do that, guys, with CA, obviously.
No, I mean, you can glue your finger to your plane.
Well, you can wipe CA with your finger, but it's just you gotta use acetone to clean it off. So this time I'm gonna apply it to the antenna, just a little bit on the end. The last 28 millimeters is the part that really does the talking, the transmitting and receiving. Okay, these are transceivers, if I haven't mentioned that before 50 times in other videos. Okay. So there's that. So I've got that stuck down there. I'd like to pull it back just a hair, keep it away from the edge. See how it's away from the edge now? I don't want it on the edge because it's too hard to see it.
Oh, yep.
Okay, so now just a little bit of clear tape, guys, like this, nothing special. And we're gonna tape right over the top of it. Now here on Brian Phillips RC, we try to give you guys a holistic view of RC experience. We want you to see all the steps so that you can really understand what a plane is going to demand of you, the buyer, of you, the flyer, okay? Now, this plane seems to be a pretty darn good plane, okay? I hope it flies as good as it went together because that was a very easy install. And you're probably thinking to yourself, but Brian, it seemed like you did a lot of work. Yeah, but it's a big plane. Yeah. And frankly, we're not quite done yet because we're gonna do forward programming still. But I'm gonna tell you this, guys, if you've ever seen any of our other footage, that was an easy build, okay? The fact that it took 3.5 hours or whatever is really kind of like not unusual at all. I am just pulling excess cable through, okay? So that my cable management is concluded. As you can see, got a nice clean install. Just one little bundle here, and that consists of the ESC wire, which if I really wanted to, I could come under here and I could pull the excess back through to a certain extent to bring it under the wing, under the battery tray, if I were actually concerned, which I'm not really that concerned, but that'll take the edge off of my potential for wiring issues, okay? Now, the other thing too is when I put a plane together, one of the first things I like to do is I generally mark the CG. I don't know if I agree with the CG on this plane.
I wonder if we should see, because the manual had a CG.
Okay.
I wonder if we should measure it and see if that's where
4,000
their mark is.
Milliamp hour, 6S, okay? And then we can draw the lines when we get it marked. Yeah, let's see if it's in the manual.
Okay, so in the manual, it shows the CG as 80 is where it's marked. The quick start guide shows a range of 70 to 80 from the leading edge of the wing, like we normally mark.
All right, so the leading edge being here, because this is tapered.
The leading edge being there.
Is that there?
Yeah.
Because that's not super obvious. Yeah, that's where they measure it from. They measure it from here at the wing root.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna go from millimeters from 70 to 80. Okay. I'm gonna use this inside one. It's a little easier to see on this particular install. So we're 70. 70. Well, would you look at that? That's almost exactly where I had it. Okay, see this? I'm lining this up. You can line this up and this up. It's the same thing, guys. Isn't it? I guess I don't know for a fact. Yeah, that's pretty close.
70, not 75.
Well, 75 would be the middle.
Well, oh, okay.
But that's not what I was going for, truthfully. Okay, so there's 70. Okay, I'm going to this top mark. So there's 70, and then I'll do 80, and I'm just gonna retrace my steps. I know I could just measure 10 from there, but I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way. I'm gonna make sure I'm looking at this, guys, square on, okay? Now let's measure my marks and see if I'm 10. Close enough, I would say. Okay, so we know where that is. So now we'll go ahead and just do the same thing over here, except we'll use these bottom teeth, if you will. Okay, so coming from the inboard portion of the wing root, just kind of cross-referencing both my marks, make sure they're about the same. Then I'll go to 70. It's always tough because you're measuring with a precision tool, but you have to use precision estimation to actually make your alignment, okay? Because I'm going from this pin to there, okay? That's good enough. That looks pretty dang close.
Yeah.
As you can see here, we have a range, which ironically is exactly where we are now. We thought it was more like here, guys.
Where is the mark?
The mark?
You can see it now because the battery.
It's covered up. It's like right here. It's actually right there. They show it right here.
So they're showing it like at the 80 mark.
Yeah, they're showing it the back. Okay.
So our range was like spot on.
It was like pretty much spot on. And the funny thing is, we moved the battery and it didn't seem to adjust the CV.
That's why I was like that can't be right.
I don't know. I was like, I was thinking I must be doing something wrong here.
Yeah.
Because it just wasn't going the way I was expecting. That being said, we've done it a million times, so sometimes they adjust well, sometimes they don't. Throttle cut is on. Throttle cut is tested. Everything is ready to flip upside down. It's disconnected.
I was gonna say, I had to plug it back in.
Okay, I'm gonna put this back on. We'll just vet our center of gravity quick before we do forward programming. Okay. Which, by the way, forward programming, if you guys didn't know, is where we set up the AS3X in safe. And you're like, well, we thought you already set that up. No, I just set up labels that are both audio labels and visual labels. Okay. So now I can just put my finger on the back mark and it's good. And on the front mark, it's a little bit tail heavy. So probably right now we are about 70% back. So I would say we're at 77 millimeters back.
So you're leaning more towards tail heavy then?
Yeah, by 3 millimeters on a plane this size.
But we moved the battery way back.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but what you're saying doesn't matter. Okay, it's just a nice way of saying it. No, what I'm saying is moving the battery did make a difference. That's what I'm trying to remind you. Remember, we moved it. It pretty much stayed.
Well, you didn't have marks to feel though. Like we were kind of guessing last night.
Okay. I'll let you have this one.
Yeah, right. I know what that smile means.
Smile means
I'm ignoring you.
Whatever.
I love you, but I'm ignoring you.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, so with the lead going that way. So this is the factory setup I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna lean toward. Now, admittedly, my intentions are, just so you guys know, this is obviously being sold by China Hobbyland. So we're gonna use another China Hobbyland. China Hobbyland? We're gonna try the 5,000.
Words are hard.
Okay, so should we tell story time or we'll come back to that another time?
What? Okay.
So we need to do forward programming,
Yes.
okay, folks? So forward programming is an important and critical step in finishing the setup here, okay? In order to do forward programming, we're probably gonna lay it down on that end, so you need to move the manuals.
Yep.
And we might take a second to reset. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and plug things in. Now that we can trust this plane, I'm okay with energizing it, straddling it with my arms. Okay. Remember guys, at the end of the day, you get to decide your risk tolerance. In this case, once I trust a plane, I trust a plane as far as I can throw it. So
not very far?
no, I can throw a plane pretty far. This one, like maybe 3 or 4 feet. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and put this lid on. I did mark this. Did we show that or did I do that off camera?
No, you showed that.
Yeah, so I made this mark here. That's just gonna tell me where to set the battery, okay? I don't know if I elaborated on that. And then we'll snap this lid back on. I do like that snap mechanism. I'm getting used to it. It's a little bit weird, but it is okay. Now, throttle cut is on, throttle stick is down. So we're gonna go ahead and open the gear this time.
I'm gonna take the stand.
Yes, please, thank you again. Gear coming down. I love that that takes time, that's so cool. Okay, so now, oh, I love it squats, that's so nice. Okay, so a couple things here. First, we're gonna recheck. Elevator up, elevator down, roll left, roll right. Camera crew is gonna go behind me. Okay, yaw left, yaw right, take off flaps, now landing flaps. Okay, so we have all the principal functions set up. Now obviously thrust reverse doesn't have anything to do with forward programming. We're gonna test that too. Forward thrust, reverse thrust. Very nice, throttle cuts on, everything's tested, timer's cleared. So we're ready to go into forward programming. Obviously the glue is set up on the receiver, so it should be exactly where it's gonna be. So click, scroll down to forward programming, gyro settings, first time setup. Blah, 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 blah. Set it on snows, hit continue. Camera crew's gonna hit continue, I'll tell you when. Watch your
the
tail,
light.
it's huge, huge. Go ahead.
Continue. Okay.
Now, I'm gonna lay this down the other
Yep.
direction so we can sit down. So, does that look about right to you guys?
Yes.
That looks about right to me. So that's the orientation. Now, if it were mounted on the side, it would have that orientation, but there's gonna be more correction factor for the angle. And I can tell you this from personal experience on AS3X and safe equipped planes. You do not want your plane to have a receiver mounted this way.
Right.
We have that, and we always have yaw issues. That plane, as a PSOT sample, has a receiver that's mounted like that. It's like 3 degrees off. You can't correct that. It picks up while you're flying. You'll notice it. So if you ever get a plane like that, rip it out, square it up. Okay. All right, so we're gonna continue. This plane is so long, I can't like sit down with it. It's kind of annoying. You know what, maybe we can put it down here. Maybe we can put it here, hon.
Okay.
Like this, and then I can just sit like this. I like to sit on the end where the plane is so that there's zero ambiguity. I love the way that those oleos are working.
I know, that's crazy.
I'm a little bit concerned. Seems like the right one is a little softer than the left one. I hope that doesn't manifest in controlling issues. Because it looks like that one's way free compared to this one over here. That is so cool though. I love it. Okay. Gain channel select. Okay, so we know that's gonna be the rotary knob. So it's not actually listed as aux 9 here. It's listed as aux 4. Sorry about the glare there. So I'll just do aux. There you go. Aux 9, aux 4. Oh my goodness. Okay, next. Now we'll apply. It's gonna reboot. Hear the beep. Okay, exit the main screen or return to forward programming. One dance. You missed it.
I know, it took forever.
Return to forward programming.
I have a glare still. I'm in trouble.
How about here?
There you go.
Okay, gyro settings. AS3X settings. AS3X gains. Flight mode 1. Notice it doesn't change, so we don't have that set yet. We're not going to mess with any of those. We're going to go to fixed adjustable. Make sure it's adjustable. Good. Also, it's still not changing, so we can't do anything more there. So we're going to walk out. We're going to go to first time safe setup. FM channel. We know we want this to be on aux 10, which is listed as aux 5 and aux 10. So don't be confused at all by that. See, aux 10, which is listed as aux 5 as channel 10. Okay, very good. And we'll hit next. It says F mode. Then we're gonna hit continue. See how it changes? Now it's working. Okay, so I want safe in this mode. So I'm gonna just hit next. I'm gonna hit next. Level, model, and capture attitude. Now, this is where your plane is gonna fly when you've got safe on. It's gonna go and be restored to this neutral position, okay? Now that one is squishing down just a hair more. I'm gonna just press this one down and then I'm gonna press that one down and we'll see if it'll relax. I'm just looking at where that oleo collapses to. See how it's relaxed up a little bit? And this one over here is relaxed all the way down. See how that's all the way down? Right. Oh boy. Right there, okay? See, now they're about even, okay? Good. Now that we're even, level, model, and capture attitude. Boop. It's at 0 and 0. Very good. Level, model, and capture attitude. Do it twice, okay? And if there were any disparity in our amount, you'd see it there. Very nice. So, safe mode. Off. Off. They're all off. Except I want this on. Self-level and angle demand. I want my limits limited as little as possible. Roll left. Roll right. Pitch down. And pitch up. So 75 degrees up, 75 degrees down, 90 degrees left, 90 degrees right. Hit next and apply. Watch for the double dance. One, two. That means safe is active, but not necessarily on, okay? It happens to be on because our switch is down. Return to forward programming. Gyro settings, AS3X settings. Ooh, look, all sorts of new things jumped in. AS3X gains, look, mode 3, 40, 50, 60. Man, is that gonna be that noisy?
No, it's just the way it looks on my screen.
All right. So you'll see it's 40, 50, and 60. That's the default settings. I don't mess with them. If I have a problem with like my plane when I get up there and it oscillates in the roll axis, I will reduce this one and it will be applied based on the percentage basis of that rotary knob setting, okay? So if that knob setting is at 1x, we're at 50% of 40. If I was all the way up, I'd be at 40. If I was all the way down, I'd be at 0. If I was 25% up, I'd be at 10. If I was at 75%, I'd be at 30. If I was at 100%, I'd be at 40. If I was at 50, I'd be at 20. You guys getting the drift? And that is applied equally to all three of these. Now, because we have a slider here and a slider here, you could actually split out all three channels. I don't do that, but you can do it, okay? This is where you could change your gain sensitivity. So you can set that to 4x, which would be crazy. And then you can also do testing there, but we have another test menu I can show you now. This is where you would set up your nose wheel if you were gonna do the nose wheel setup. We're not gonna do the nose wheel because we don't need it. System setup, which by the way, nose wheel is sweet. If you have retracts, when the retracts are down, it stabilizes it differently and you go down just a hair, so you're off of there, thank you. And there's a little bit of setup involved. It's not a big deal. So you can relearn your servo settings, you can check your orientation, or you can change your orientation, but I'm not gonna do that there. And then you can go into utilities and you can go to gyro response test. While on this page, heading gains are maximized to help verify the servo reactions relative to the aircraft movements are correct. Okay, so while you're in the screen, watch what happens. When I wiggle the plane that way, this rudder will try to resist. Whoop, it resisted. When I wiggle it this way, it's gonna try to resist. Resist. Yes. Now, when I lift the tail, this elevator is going to resist. Sure did. When I lower it, it's gonna go down. I gotta lift it up so I can lower it. Oh yeah. Now, look at the aileron. That aileron, when I roll this wing up, it's gonna resist by going up. Sure did. When I go down, it's gonna resist down. Sure did. Same thing over here. I'm gonna just retest that same theory. I'm gonna roll up. Yep. I'm gonna roll down. Yep. Roll back up. Yep. Now we're gonna check our steerable nose gear. As I pull the nose this way, it's going to resist to turn into that. Nope, it turned away from it. That's correct, okay? And it turned away from it, which is correct. Now, that would be a separate axis that you would need to check gains on too if you did the nose wheel.
Stabilization.
Stabilization, additional stabilization.
Yep.
This is obviously stabilized, but it's stabilized through the rudder.
Right.
Okay. So sometimes this rudder, it doesn't come alive until a certain time. Well, as soon as you retract that gear, you don't want this thing like just going crazy over here. It's not necessary. Well, right now it's going to be going crazy while you're flying around with that thing up in the landing gear cavity. Okay. But we've tested all the directions are going the right directions. Now we can watch out when we exit. Watch what happens. Boop, goes back to the center. Now, if you don't want to do that, you can also just go to AS3X settings, change your gains from 1X to 4X. And then in this case, throttle cuts off. Watch what happens. Nothing. A little bit of throttle, nothing, but we've activated AS3X. Now my throttle cuts back on, my throttle stick is back down, and now this will work. Elevator, 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 rudder, rudder, aileron, 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 aileron. I'm watching. Can you see?
Yes.
Can you see good?
I think, yeah, I can see.
Up, down. Okay, watch the elevator. It's gonna go up, it's gonna go down. It's gonna go toward you on the rudder. It's gonna go toward me on the rudder. Watch the aileron. It's gonna go up, it's gonna go down. Check all the directions on all the surfaces and then recheck it, okay? Now, I'm gonna turn on safe. Boop. Safe mode's on, okay? So watch this. When I flip this, look at the elevator. It should be trying to pull us out of a dive. It is. Okay, now look at the ailerons. The ailerons are gonna try to get us flipped over. See? Yep. Quickest route to level, okay? Very good. Now I gotta set my off setting, okay? It's the only setting I didn't do. We know that 4X is probably more than we need, so we're gonna put that back to 1X for the time being. Okay. Then we're gonna go to AS3X settings. Excuse me. F mode setup. Watch this. AS3X, off. Now it's on, now it's off, now it's on with AS3X as well. Pretty cool, right? And then you can also set up panic here if you wanted. I'm not gonna set up panic because I don't use a panic switch, but you could set it up as simple as that. You can also set up hand launch assist. I'm not gonna hand launch this model. Even though I talked about I don't trust it as far as I can throw it. Throttle cuts off, timer's cleared because I did start the timer even though I didn't engage the motor. Because when you're in forward programming, the motor will not engage. But if you exit with the motor up, it will warn you, okay? I'm gonna show you that feature right now. I'm gonna put myself in a spot where it forces the plane not to be unsafe. I'm gonna go back into forward programming. Forward programming, throttle cuts off. Throttle sticks up just a little bit, walk out. Ooh, see, it doesn't, throttle cuts on. See why we have good discipline? Not everything is intuitive as you might think. All right, beautiful. Love this plane, love the way it went together. That was a really, really easy build. AS3X went together super smooth. I hope we don't have a bunch of adjustments, but as you can see, throttle cuts on. I'm in AS3X. I'm gonna show you off quick. That's the only thing I haven't. Turning the knob all the way up. AS3X is working. Watch the rudder. Off. On. Okay. Halfway down. Off. All the way up. That does not seem like very much correction.
It's not a lot, but.
The other thing too is this square? Looks like it's kind of pointed a little bit cattywampus on the rudder. Does it not look to you like that needs to be maybe be a little square?
Are you a little bit?
It might just be the way that this is attached.
Bent, yeah.
No, I think it needs to come out just a hair. Okay, come around here so they can see. Go all the way around. So we're gonna pull this fuel tube forward, and then we're just gonna lift this. That was weird. So you hear that digital
Yeah,
noise?
I heard it.
Okay, so right now it's pulled like this, so I want to unscrew this. 1, 2, okay? That was super easy, okay? maybe one more. One more half. One more half like that. Slide that through. Oh boy, show them. Show them from the top or whatever. See, with those 3 turns out,
Yeah.
now we can snap that back down, pull this back, then we'll make sure that we are squared away on our movement. Y'all left, y'all right. Why'd you move? Y'all left, y'all right. Elevator up, elevator down, roll left, roll right. Take off flaps, landing flaps, and obviously the gear work. We've already tested that. Thrust reverse works, forward thrust reverse. We know the center of gravity is balanced out. We know that the battery in question, the 4006S, is correct for the job. The LEDs are clearly working. The prop is mounted. Everything is installed. We have the off setting, we have the AS3X setting, and we have the safe setting. There is no stone left unturned on this. We have dual rates and expo set up. We also have our timer set. Ooh, telemetry.
Oh, yep.
Telemetry should be pretty easy on this. Scroll to your right. You can see your min-max volts. Okay. You also have altitude. You can set up a vario if you want. You can clear that with that button, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. So if we click and we scroll down to system setup or telemetry, you can go to volts. I don't want an alarm for either of those. This is a flight pack voltage for a 6S. Let that populate. Min volts, I'll have an alarm, which is going to be a voice with warning reports every 15 seconds. Okay. Vario is currently off. You can turn it on if you want. It's very easy. You just change it to like a switch or something like that if you want. It'll be off and then on and on. Okay, so what we do is we scroll over here. Now it'll show up on the screen. And then it'll be on when I have that down. In either, I don't know if I'm gonna make it move fast enough.
Or enough movement.
But you can show them the screen.
Yep.
I don't know if I have that set to the most sensitive setting. But you can set up a vario if you want, but you can also see your change in rates, mostly for sailplanes and stuff like that. So I'm gonna turn that feature back off. And in fact, I'm gonna go back into telemetry and I'm gonna shut that off. I'm gonna just go to inhibit and I'm gonna say display inactive, okay? Because we don't need that. Altitude's kind of cool. You can set up alarms. If you go over so many feet, you can have an alarm warning. And you can do status updates as well. G-force, same thing. Volt, same thing. RPMs are not going to really do us any good because we don't actually have RPMs on this setup. So really what I'd like is I'd like that to be volts. Oh, I wonder how amps work on this. Yeah. That's not going to really do much for us. Fuel level, power box, airspeed, turbine, geos. Okay, so there's all sorts. Ooh, AS3X. What's that? Wonder what that is. Okay, let's walk out and see what it is. Pause that for a sec. Okay, so you can see the min-max, altitude, telemetry. There's our voltage. So that's where I would normally leave the screen while I'm flying. There's the altitude, AS3X settings. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, so you can see which state you're in. And look, I told you what that rate would be. See, when my knob is at, whatever the knob setting is.
Oh, you can actually see what
you can actually see what the setting is. You remember I told you that? I was telling you right. That's pretty cool.
Sound surprised.
Not really, but I just wanted you guys to see that it does show up here, which is pretty cool. That's neat. I didn't know that was there. That's really neat. Okay. So guys, at the end of the day, there's so many features that I don't even know about most of them. But at the end of the day, we want this thing to be a great experience for you. If you're brand new to piloting RC, I'm guessing this is probably not your first plane. If it's your first plane, that would be highly unusual. It's a little bit complicated. I would not recommend it. There's easier planes that will get you in the air. But don't worry, there's always time to not fly it and then get something that's much easier like this Cessna 182 or, that J3 Cub is a pretty complicated plane. I mean, it's a nice plane. But this is an awesome plane. I don't know that it would be probably the worst first plane, but just a lot of plane for a beginner.
Yeah.
So I would not push you this direction for a beginner plane. I'd get you into something that's easier. It's going to give you a higher likelihood of success, and it's going to be a little less braking when it crashes. Okay.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you're brand new to the hobby and you're thinking, man, I really think I could handle it. You know, I've flown this or I've flown that, and I'd like it to make it my next plane. You can leave that in the comments. We'll try to help you out. But truth is, I haven't flown it yet. I think I've flown one, and it wasn't mine. It was on somebody else's transmitter. It was all set up all wonky, like other people set theirs up. But that being said, we've helped tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people do this and get out of the chair and into the air. So if we helped you out, smash the like button, click the bell for notifications when you do subscribe to Brian Phillips RC. We want you guys to be part of the family here, and we hope that you'll come back for more, because there's always something right around the corner on Brian Phillips RC. We have stuff that is stacked in piles over there.
Yes.
Okay. And by the way, if you didn't know that, we're building the aerodrome here. It's getting huge. It's getting amazing. And it's getting very real and very expensive. So we just redid the intersection over here. And when I said redid, we built a new intersection. And we will eventually measure the length so we know what the main runway is. That one's going to be 600-ish feet by 12. And then the full-scale strip is closer to like 1,200 feet. But it's got a dogleg in it. So it's more like 900 useful feet. And there is a tree line over there, so it just depends on what type of plane you're piloting. The grade drops away from you over there. So if you go over the dogleg, then you can fly straight out. But if you fly out that way, then you'd be flying over some pretty tall trees. So that's most of the way where people are gonna fly. So it's very exciting, but it's also very expensive. So you wanna help support us, the best way you can do it is buy planes just like this from the links in the video description below. Believe me, whatever small amount of money that we make on this channel has already been converted, spent, and then spent like 20 or 30 years into the future.
Yep.
On that project.
Yep.
So we appreciate you and continuing to do what you're doing, because it is helping to fund my addiction. I mean, habit. I mean, hobby, right?
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that what we call this?
Maybe, I guess.
So we appreciate you being here, but at the same time, we do need you guys more than we've needed you in the past, and that is because we're writing humongous checks to do big project-oriented things over there. And we can't wait to share the progress with you. I mean, we have big plans. One of the plans, just as a heads up, we're gonna have a 16-foot tall rack. It's gonna be 60 feet wide. So layer 1's ground, layer 2, and then layer 3. There's gonna be a forklift or a man lift. I don't know which one, depends on what we can get our hands on for cheap, because we're not gonna use it all the time. We're gonna be able to pull a rack of planes down to the ground, take a plane off the rack, fly the plane, put it back on the rack, put it back on the rack. It's gonna be awesome. And I want to share the progress and show you guys how we're doing these things so that you can emulate bits and pieces of these projects in your own world or at your own club as you guys see fit, okay? So we want to bring real value to you as you really start and learn to fly RC, because flying RC is one of the most amazing, wholesome, productive, safe, family-friendly, I mean, multi-generational. You can go out with your grandkids, you can go out with your grandpa at the same time and have a great time. That could be potentially 5 generations right there. And if you got the spread right, and you'd have to have some young kids and some young parents.
Young, old people?
Young parents and young kids. Think about it though.
You could.
If you think about it, you could have a great grandparent and you could have a grandkid. No, you might be able to do a grandpa and a grandchild. So it'd be like 5 generations, right?
You could
grand.
You could hit it. It'd be tricky.
Happens.
Yeah.
It happens. You don't do that with video games. You might do that with football or basketball or, you know, kids sports and things like that. But it is rare that you can find something you can do that with your whole family. So girls, boys, doesn't matter. It's fun for everybody. And it's also one of the safer, but also not one of the cheapest, and definitely not one of the easiest, and definitely not instant gratification. That's why you need a channel like this to help get you where you want to get. And that is in the air. So we hope we helped answer some of your questions, because believe me, getting this to do what you want with that is the ticket to success. And it's changed a lot in 20 years. So if you're just coming back and saying, I got my crystals, I got my Futaba 4 channel, trust me, we're long past that. We'll get you up to speed as quick as possible. It's gonna take some effort, probably gonna take you 4 to 5 videos. They're long to get where you need to be. to be even remotely comfortable. And if you need more help than that, leave it in the comments below. We'll do our best to help you out. If you want to support us in other ways, but you're not going to buy this plane, you want to buy something different, helicopter, plane, VTOL we've reviewed in the past, you go to bprc.me, also known as brianphillipsrc.com, which is our website. You can sort by manufacturer that we worked with or the particular product sorted by type. So like airliner, I've got, I want to see a helicopter that we saw one day, or a parachute, or, you had a parachuter that you dropped off a plane, you want to see that thing. We got all that stuff sorted for you to find easy. Or you can compare and contrast warbirds. So like this would be a warbird. This would also be this is going to be a China Hobby Lines, which is kind of weird. But it'd also be Hobby King, So you can find the different brands that are offering these products, but the links that we offer are going to be the links to the partners that we worked with. Okay, full disclosure. We don't mean to take anything off the table for somebody that works with us on other products, because we do work with Hobby King too. So when we work with Horizon Hobby, and we work with all these other brands, we work with, Buddy RC and FMS and a lot of different brands. Now I'm going to have to Wolfbush.
That's your favorite.
Yeah, right. We've also worked with Beatles. The Beatles.
Yeah.
We've never worked directly with them. But
no, we've used several other ESCs.
I think FMS had them in a couple of things.
I think so.
Arrows. Who else?
Same thing.
Just rattle off a few.
Oh, of other people. I mean, I think they've been in... Oh, FMS, that's what I was thinking of. I think they've been in other Hobby King planes.
Partners.
Oh, other partners?
So we have lots of partners,
my gosh.
guys.
Well, and then that doesn't
we don't care
include-
which one you pick.
Yeah.
That's our point. We just want you to pick good stuff. And believe me, all of our partners have the good stuff, and they have some cheap stuff. We're going to help you pick the cheap stuff that actually works from the cheap stuff that sucks.
And we try to work with the better cheap, Volantex and, some of those people.
If you're going to buy the entry-level stuff,
there are better
steer you in the
ones.
right direction.
Yep.
But keep in mind, radio systems, airframes, the way that they put them together, the labor that they expect of you. Once you get it out of the box, you can answer all those questions right here on Brian Phillips RC. Okay? So here on YouTube, we've been here for 10 years plus, and we're not going anywhere. And we're really honored and privileged to be part of this. So thanks for being here with us. Thanks for watching. Other ways to support us: Patreon for monthly support, YouTube members for monthly support. YouTube members also allows for YouTube super thanks for one-time donations, as well as PayPal. If you want to just send us a few bucks, that's totally cool. And we have a P.O. box. If you need to send us something, just let us know ahead of time on an email. There should be an email in our About tab on Brian Phillips RC. If you don't know how to find that, just click on my face from when I was a baby.
Yeah. Almost.
A few years ago.
A few.
Feels like it.
Yeah.
So that's all we got for you tonight. Super Tucano from China Hobby Lines, which is a little bit weird. We're honored, privileged to finally be doing it.
Yeah.
So hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned. So much more right around the corner from Brian Phillips RC.